But that means I have like a whole week with y'all. Chat, I have a whole week with y'all because I don't get any time with my girlfriend, which is really sad. I'm really really sad about that. But at least I get to spend it with y'all, okay, everyone? At least I get to spend it with y'all. I get to be on the internet. I can't get any of y'all infected then, okay? Are you feeling better? Kind of. Not really. It doesn't really sound like it. But my throat's way better. Way better energy. It's mainly just like my voice and like how scratchy it is, and like my lungs feel a little bit congested. But that's about it, everyone. But what's good, everyone joining in? Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's run it up to 100,000 likes. Share the live as well, everyone. I do appreciate every single person who's sending a guest request and joining in right now. But again, everyone, please only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. Again, everyone, we are just looking for some debates, but let's get everyone joining at the live right now. How's everyone doing? What's up, Sky? You don't sound so good? I know. Trust me, I get it. But I sound better than I was the other days. Okay? I promise you. I feel way better than I did the other days. All right, everyone. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. Let me get the next person up here, y'all. All right, it's not accepting this person. Let me get the next person up here again, everyone. Please only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. 2024, y'all. Oh my. It's not accepting people, and do give it a minute, y'all. Let's get the next person up here, or the first person up here real quick. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, 28.
Are you voting for Trump?
No, I just want to say I love your content.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as always. I'm going to go on to the next person. Please, everyone, only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. Dude, you look exhausted. These bags are genetic. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
30.
Yeah, you voting for Trump?
Absolutely.
Why so?
He's done a great job with the economy. I like the Jobs and Tax Act cut. What he's done for our
Tax Cut and Jobs Act? Why do you
yes,
like the
thank you,
Tax Cut and Jobs Act?
because it gave more money to the rich so that they could make our economy prosper.
Appreciate confetti. Thank you. At the expense of poor people in this country and people in the middle class?
Well, poor people don't create jobs. You should know that as an econ major.
Well, you should know if you studied any econ course that if they put more money into the economy proportional to the amount of money that they get, that grows the economy and grows jobs as well. So actually, you're wrong. They do create jobs. Appreciate the hand art. Thank you. They have
Parker,
a higher MPC. Appreciate the
what's
appreciate
net
the
present value mean?
appreciate the head massage or the hand heart. What'd you say?
What's net present value mean?
Overall current value.
No.
That's what net and present means.
So net present value is the relationship that time and money have. So how do rich and middle class people create wealth in this country?
Okay, how do middle class people create wealth in this country? Well, they create
Correct.
wealth. Well, obviously, technology is what creates wealth. That's what I believe. And institutions.
Correct. So do poor people create technology or do institutions create
They
technology?
build institutions, and they build institutions that create the conditions for technology to arise.
Okay. Well, anyways, I'm voting for Trump. I think he's done a great
Wait,
job.
complete pivot?
No, I mean, I think we have just a disagreement on whether rich or poor people create wealth in this country.
You understand it's not mutually exclusive, right?
Sure. I mean, I think it can happen both ways, but statistically, if you look at it, people that have money create wealth,
And you're
more
saying
wealth.
people who don't have. Oh, so can you give me evidence of that?
Yeah, look at the stock market.
Can
Who
you give me a
has?
single society that cut all taxes for rich people, right, and specifically kept taxes high for poor people, and they still did well?
Can you give me an example of a society where all poor people are creating opportunity?
Every single society that we live in, they are the ones
Really?
continuing the jobs. They're the ones providing services,
No,
goods and resources.
rich people provide opportunity.
That's hilarious. Rich people employ poor people. Be totally
Exactly.
fucking real. Okay, employing poor people doesn't mean you did the job. You just employed them.
Okay. All right. Let's just get back to the topic
There's a
about
barrier there of capital. And if you're like this guy, you can get a $400 million inheritance from your daddy, right? And you, because you got that inheritance, can do significantly better than 99.99% of people.
Okay, that's fair. But the majority of people that create wealth are not uh, do not mirror Donald Trump. But we
Okay.
can go back to talking about policy and why Trump would be a better president than Biden. Um, yeah, Trump will be a better president than Biden because of what he
You
did
have
on
to justify that rich people actually create more for the economy, that making it better off for rich people at the expense of poor people benefits a society.
Parker. Your topic is why am I voting for Trump?
Yeah, but you said you were voting for Trump because of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. You support the Tax Cut and Jobs Act because
I
it
do.
gave money to rich people because rich people create better conditions for our economy. I asked you to justify that stance. Now you can't do it?
I think if you look at the economy before we had Joe Biden, there was a lot more opportunity for people. I think the middle class was making more money. Their money went farther than it does today now.
What countries have the highest social mobility?
Probably somewhere. I mean, I would say probably the United States has the best social mobility. I think that's the
Nope.
reason why we have so many people that
Wrong.
want to come here.
Wrong. Wrong. Scandinavian countries, typically, right? They
Have
have
higher,
they
they
have
have
the
higher
highest
taxes,
level
but
of
not.
social mobility.
Yeah, but they don't have the same opportunities that you could come here. That why do you,
So what do
Parker?
you
Why
mean the
do you
same
think so many
opportunities? They have
people?
higher social
Hold
mobility,
on,
which means that
Parker.
they have
Why do you
more
think so
opportunity for
many
the average
people are
person.
coming to the United States? Why?
So many people
Why do
want to
you
go to
think so
those
many
other
people are
places as
coming here?
well. Why is it so many people want to go to the United States?
There's not a
Understanding of things, notoriety, like around the world, and
Parker.
because
There's not a mass exodus
of
of people
geography.
leaving the United States going to Europe for
There
socialism.
is,
That's not
there
what's
is.
happening right now.
You have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, you have no
Um,
clue what you're talking about. There's absolutely a migration crisis in Europe. What the fuck are you talking about?
where?
Look up
Show,
European migration crisis, please.
okay, well, we also have a migration crisis here in the United States right now.
Okay, but you just said it didn't
And that's
exist in other places around the world. You're saying, why do so many people want to come here? Why do so many people want to go to Europe?
I don't know why they want to go to Europe. I like living in the United States. There's plenty of
Cool.
opportunity here.
Nice job. Now, there's greater levels of social mobility in Scandinavian countries. So if you're going to base whatever you want to vote
Parker, I
for
didn't
based
come
upon
on
the
here to
level of
talk to
social
you
mobility
about the
that it creates in a
opportunities going on in
society,
Europe.
well, then it is going to be the case that you're going to adopt social democratic policy, which is further left, not further right.
Okay. I didn't come on here to talk to you about what's going on in Europe. I came on here to talk to you about why I'm voting for Donald Trump and why he's going to be a
We
better
were talking about
president.
ideology, right? Because you're saying because of this ideology, because of these beliefs that I have, I'm voting for Trump. I'm critiquing that belief that you have as to why you're voting for Donald Trump. Why are you thinking it's based upon something else when I'm clearly addressing that?
Well, I think the problem is in what is not being addressed. And I come and listen to you all the time. You're very smart, very well spoken. You and Harry tend to talk about the same thing, the CHIPS Act, insulin, infrastructure, which are all great things. But what you're missing and what I think a lot of the core base that you talk to is how their money is not going as far as it used to. Now, whether that's a Donald Trump problem or a Joe Biden problem,
You
I'm
haven't
sure.
listened to me then. I've talked about inflation many times on my live. Again, inflation isn't caused by the presidents. This is related to supply and demand, right? There's global gas prices that have gone up. Why? Because there was a reduction in global oil supply. Why? Because Trump brokered a deal with OPEC to limit their distribution of oil, along with the context of the Russia-Ukraine situation, which led to us getting less Russian oil.
We don't need Russian oil. We have plenty of resources here. We need to tap into our own resources.
I'm not saying we need it, but what I'm saying is that it would increase the price to have a lower global oil supply.
Okay. Well, I think when you do these debates, and I've listened to a lot of the people that you talk to, and I feel terrible as a Trump supporter because I know that you typically listen and talk to a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about, and it's extremely frustrating. But the point that I'm trying to make here tonight is a lot of the reason why people are coming on here and they're voting for Trump is they don't feel like that the government that we have right now is working for them, regardless of Joe Biden, regardless of Donald Trump. The dollar today does not go as far as it did 4 years ago. May or may not be Biden or Trump's fault, but a lot of people do not feel good about where we're at in the economy right now. The economy is not working for everyone. It's working for a small group of people. And
Then why are you trying to give tax breaks to the rich? It's working for a small group of people, so let's make them more rich. What kind of fucking nonsense is that, to be totally frank with you? Sam, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but that's absolutely nonsense.
it's nonsense that people that have wealth can create more
Yeah, you're
opportunity.
not giving any good reason to vote for Trump. You're simply just saying this is what, descriptively speaking, why people are. That doesn't mean it's a good reason.
I, I have a hard time believing though that right now in the current economy that we have, that people that are job creators, people that are there's it's harder to take risks right now, and you know that, Parker, that we're $40 trillion in debt right now. There's no capital to go out and make.
We're not 40 trillion, I don't think.
Yes, we are. We are absolutely. We're
Since when?
probably worse than that. I don't know. Go
No?
look at the debt clock. What are we?
U.S.
35,
federal debt.
36? If I rounded up 4 trillion, excuse me.
4 trillion's a lot to round up at that level. That would be about 10%. Appreciate the hanging lights. Thank you so much. U.S. federal debt. I'll pull it up for you. You can keep going. 34 trillion. That's 6 trillion. Wow, dude, what a small increase.
Well, if Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden would have spent that in Afghanistan and in Iraq and whatever the hell else we were using our money
Yeah, I
for.
don't agree with going into the Middle East at all.
Okay, so then why are you voting
spending
for Joe
trillions.
Biden?
He's not advocating for that right now. He's not advocating to like start doing this, right? Both presidents are in support of a high military budget, which I think is fucked. We could spend that money here at home, actually benefit people, get rid of homelessness, have there be universal childcare, paternity, maternity leave, paid vacation leave, like basically every other developed country in Europe, right? Free public universities, right? All of that's affordable with half our military budget. We still have the biggest military in the world by over $100 billion a year.
Yeah, I guess my confusion is you come on and you talk about the CHIPS Act and insulin and all this other and infrastructure, and why is these are all reactive policies? Why has it taken us so long to do all of
No,
these
that's not
things?
reactive. Infrastructure
These
is
are
not
all
reactive.
reactive. Absolutely
Infrastructure
reactive.
infrastructure
Parker,
is the opposite of reactive.
we have to have an infrastructure bill right now because we haven't been taking care of it for the last however many years.
Because Trump couldn't get it passed.
Oh, because Trump was in office for 4 years, Parker. Give me a break.
Yeah, and he had
Joe Biden's
he
been
had
in
both the
office
House and
for 4
Senate for the
years.
first two.
What's that?
Didn't he have both the House and the Senate for the first two?
Yeah, and he did some great things while he was in
Nice
the.
infrastructure bill, nice repeal and replace of ACA, right? Nice
Yeah,
building the wall and
absolutely.
making
Because
Mexico
it,
pay for it. Nice draining the swamp. Wow, he did great, dude.
yeah, because we should penalize people that can't afford health care insurance. That's the smart thing to do.
That's
And we
actually
should
a
also
provision that
and
Republicans
we
put in
should
the bill.
also
Funny
take
enough.
health.
Funny
It's
enough,
funny.
that's a provision Republicans put in the bill. Second of all, I advocate for universal health care, right? So if you want to fuck over people in the middle class, that's quite literally what Republicans are doing with not supporting universal health care. Oh, please.
So we should take health care away from people that had good health
No,
care
we
and were
should provide
told
health care for
and that
people.
were told that they could keep
There
their
shouldn't be a
health
single
care so
person in
that
this
poor
country
people
that
couldn't
doesn't have
have it.
access to health care.
I mean, be real, Parker. You and I are
You
both
be real.
able
You
to
don't want the
afford,
health.
can
You don't want the
both
health of our
afford
constituents.
healthcare, but the policies that you're passing are actually hurting the people that you say that you want to help.
So again, the policies I'm talking about, no,
And Trump
they
doesn't need
didn't,
to have
right?
a
Again,
healthcare
that
plan.
Sam, you're not listening, respectfully, right? I just told you the provision that you're referencing came from Republicans. In order to get it passed, they put it in the bill. Did you know that?
Parker, we don't need government regardless. Trump
Wow,
or
he just
Biden
completely
running
ignores the
healthcare.
point and moves on to the next. Are you allergic to acknowledging points?
What? Please, you've interrupted me multiple times. Go ahead and state your point again. I'll be
I
quiet.
didn't interrupt you there.
What's your point?
You didn't hear me? Sharp, thank you for the boxing glove. Thank you so much. Hello?
I'd love to hear your point again. I'm being polite.
I'm asking if you heard me. What part did you hear?
That Republicans were
Put that
something
provision
about
in. Put
provisions,
that provision
yes.
into the bill.
All right. Anyways, we don't need government. We do not need government to dictate healthcare. We
Hey,
do
can you
not.
restate to me what I just said? Appreciate the roses.
That
Thank you.
Republicans added that provision in the bill, Parker. I
So
heard
why
what
didn't you
said.
respond to that, Sam?
Because it doesn't matter if they put revisions in it or not.
Yes, it fucking
It should have
does.
it should have never been a bill in the first place. Obamacare should have never been passed.
Wait, but
People
okay,
should
so
be
you want less people to have health care?
No, I don't. We have a safety net in this country, Parker. There's no
What was the
doctor.
safety net without the ACA?
Any person that would want to go into an emergency room and
What
get
was the safety net for tens of millions of Americans if it was not the ACA?
Medicaid, Medicare.
That doesn't
There's
apply to
private-
millions
there's
of
private-
Americans.
There's private
There are
charities.
tens of
there's-
millions of Americans in this country that are uninsured or underinsured. Okay? I'm
Correct.
saying everyone in this country should be fucking insured. Okay? Everyone should have health care. Every child should have health care. We have a
whose
fucking
expense?
chronic disease, right? A chronic disease epidemic in this country, right? You understand that? That's because, right, they profit off of us being negatively impacted, off of our health not being at par. That's why instead of making it fucking for profit, we should have it literally provided to everyone, as we do with firefighters, as we do with cops, as we do with plenty of other things.
We have people that are underinsured in this country.
In the same way that people say healthcare isn't a right, well, someone could say safety is not a right. You see how ridiculous of a claim that is? Absolutely, we should extend. If we care about safety, why don't we care about health?
Safety is a right. It's in that's why we have a military.
Wait, why do you care about safety?
Why do I care about safety?
Uh-huh.
Why would I not care about safety?
Well, no, just answer the question. Do you care about safety because it relates to the
course I
health
care
of
about
you and
safety.
me and your children? And
Yes.
okay,
I
so if you
do.
care about the health of you and me and your children, why don't you want health care or food
I don't
security
have-
or unemployment, what's it called? Safety nets.
Insurance. Yeah. Parker, I'm not against safety nets. What my problem is when we use government. Here's the problem behind your argument, right? When the government does anything for anybody, how does the government do something? If in order for the government to give something to someone else, they have to use force. Where does force come from? You're forcing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're shaking your head, but you understand what I'm saying.
I didn't shake anything. I just said,
It
okay.
means that we have to take it from someone else. That's theft. Taxation is theft.
Oh,
Whenever you
okay,
take
okay.
something
I don't.
from
If you
someone else
consider
to-
it theft, I don't give a shit.
So you're perfectly okay with just anything.
I'm perfectly okay with taxation. Absolutely. So if you think taxation is theft, you don't want food banks for children?
No, that's not what
If the private charities this year decide not to provide for the children, would you let them starve to death?
What I just said earlier was that we have.
So you're okay with
Well, I would
taxation? You're
really-
okay with this
I would really
theft?
appreciate if you just let me get my thought out. I really like.
I'd really
I'm not
appreciate if you
cutting
answer a
off.
question.
Go ahead. What I said is I have no problem with safety nets. That's why we have private charity in this country. That's why we have churches. We have non-religious groups that go out and do charity events. There's a lot of rich people that give to charity. The government does not need to take money from people that are middle class, upper class, wealthy people and redistribute it to people that do not have that. That is not that you are using force. Anytime you take something from else, you're using force and you're stealing from people. And that is, I'm against theft. You asked me earlier if I like safety. I absolutely like safety. In your world that you want to take from other people, and that's not okay.
Okay. Do you want to put pedophiles in prison that rape children? You want to use force? You want to go against their will? Appreciate the answer. Thank you.
Are you
Yeah,
s-
absolutely
are
you
you
do.
serious?
Now, do you think there should be safety nets? How do you fund those safety nets without taxation? You forcefully get funds, right? And then you distribute it towards people in need. Otherwise, it might not happen. So absolutely, I'm okay with forcing those conditions to be the case. If it means children have food, if it means people have health care, if it means that people have houses, people have basic fucking amenities that they need. Absolutely. If you disagree with that, well, then I'll ask you, why are you okay with all of these other laws? Why are you okay with all these other safety nets? And why are you okay with that other taxation?
Yeah, I think for the military is something that we have in our Constitution that's guaranteed to us. We need to have a military that's going to protect us here, military bases here, not giving $60 billion of aid to every other country in the world. Go ahead, roll your eyes, Parker. I know that's such a difficult thing to imagine, is that we would keep our own country safe and not have people, 14 million people pouring into our borders that we don't even vet these people or know where they're coming from. I know your other argument is, oh, they're fleeing asylum, but it's not like they have 12 other countries that they can stop at before that they come here. But yeah, we absolutely should have safety nets, but we should be responsible and think how we're using those safety nets and not just saying that we're going to do universal this, universal that. Not everything is a universal guaranteed right.
I never said everything is universally guaranteed. I'm not saying people can have mansions universally guaranteed. I'm saying fucking healthcare, housing, food, income security, right? Basic social safety nets. Okay? You were saying taxation is theft, but you're okay with taxation?
Well, yeah, it's how we raise money for our federal
So
government.
then why were you making that argument against me?
Because nobody is Parker.
That's such an incoherent point. You just sound like a
Parker,
hypocrite.
no one is starving in the streets right now.
There are
There,
people starving.
we do not have
Appreciate the forever rose. Thank you.
Parker. Not like there's
And
people
also,
starving
how
in
much
the
how
world.
much of that is due to governmental systems? Tasha, thank you for the mirror bloom. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. How much of the reduction in starvation is due to governmental influence? Appreciate confetti.
If people are starving right now, our poor people are fat in this country, Parker. That's the silliest thing that I've ever.
Sam, no, that's
Go
the
look at a
silliest thing
poor-
for you to
go
say
look
that
at a
there's no one
go-
starving in this country. That's so silly. You have no clue what you're talking about. Look at the statistics, right? I'll show you starvation statistics.
Please,
Okay. How many people in the United States are food insecure? How many people in the United States have to skip meals to be able to afford their bills?
So then why are we giving money to other countries, Parker?
I will wait. You earlier did not address the $850 billion a year military budget that we spend on military bases around the world for geopolitical influence. Okay, you didn't address that. You didn't talk about the 8.5 trillion over 10 years, but you're going to specifically talk about the $45 billion in cash that we gave to Ukraine, right? The rest of it equipment that we just repurposed from our military. Appreciate the hand art because we weren't using it.
Okay, well that's different because we're using that military.
You never
to
talked about that. You
educate-
didn't talk about the money we were giving to rich people
Would you like
instead of
would you like
helping
me to
people.
talk about that?
44
I'd love to
million
talk
people
about
in the
that.
United States, including 1 in 5 children, millions of the people in the United States don't have enough food to eat or don't have enough access to healthy food.
But that's not starving. That just means that they don't have access
Food
to
insecurity?
Parker.
You
there's
don't,
a
you don't
difference-
consider
there's a
food
difference
insecurity
between-
starving.
There's a difference.
So do you
between-
mean starving to death?
Yes?
Okay, so you saying that people don't starve to death is different than saying people are starving. Do you not understand the difference?
Yes, there's a difference between someone that's starving to death and someone that has to miss a meal here and there. That's totally different.
And you're okay with people having to miss meals?
Then I guess we need to have a conversation about what does it look like? We're just dancing around the issues,
And
Parker.
actually, one thing is that 21,000 people died in the United States from malnutrition in 2022. Did you know that?
There's how many people
20,000.
that died?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's terrible. No one should. Again, I've not heard that statistic before. That's a little shocking to me. I think we were talking about two different things, but I can acknowledge that's kind of surprising. I've actually never heard that before. But I'll go back to your point if you want to talk about Ukraine.
Do you know what the Budapest Memorandum is?
No.
Okay, well, we signed an agreement with Ukraine that if they gave up their nuclear weapons, that we would defend them. Well, so they gave up their nuclear weapons. Now, what does that mean for us?
If Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons, that
Yeah.
that we would defend them. I've never heard that before.
Just look at the Budapest Memorandum.
I mean, again, we need to be defending the Ukraine. I don't think that there's anything wrong with defending the Ukraine. If we have all of these issues going on in our own country, I think a lot of, especially people that vote for Trump, they struggle with having.
Okay, you could have said that to justify not helping in the Holocaust. There are problems in the United States that exist at that time. Why help people around the world who are getting slaughtered at mass, right? If there are problems here at home.
I mean, I think both can coexist, right?
Okay, that's exactly what my point is.
But why does
Both
it?
can coexist. You see how we ran right into the point?
both can coexist, but it doesn't feel like they do. And I think that's
Crazy.
the
That's what's
problem.
happening when you hyperfixate on the money we're giving to Ukraine. You know how much percentage of the overall budget that is?
Oh, it's nothing compared. It's
Oh
not.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's literally 1/4 of our military budget. It's less than our interest payment on our debt. Okay? So all these people claim, why are we giving so much money to Ukraine and not helping people at home when they're not acknowledging the military budget, the overinflated military budget. They're not mentioning the tax cuts for the rich, right? Consistently that have led or that have been highly correlated with increasing federal deficits, by the way.
I'm trying to think of when you say that giving tax cuts to the rich creates federal deficits. Can you give me an example of a time where
I didn't say creates as high, I said it's highly correlated.
are you talking about the bailouts that were given under Obama and Bush that helped create more federal? I'm just trying to understand what the
I'm
point you're
saying that
making.
there's a correlation between like multiple times, right? In the past few decades, we're talking like 5, 6 decades or so, right? That when we saw tax cuts towards the rich, right, we also saw at that same time, right, increasing share of debt, essentially, or deficit.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just again, I think the whole part of the whole deal with this debate is Trump or Biden. And Parker, to be honest, like I think they both have great qualities about them. Biden's experience, I think there are some good things that Biden's done in terms of, I mean, our country was on the brink of economic collapse, and I think a lot of his policies did help. But I also think a lot of middle class, upper middle class people don't feel like their money are going as far in today, and that's why I brought up net present
And that
value
makes sense,
earlier.
but that's not caused by the president. And like again, you keep bringing up this point, but I don't understand why you keep doing it. Like you're trying to give credence to the point.
I'm trying to say that I don't appreciate you coming up here and trying to make people feel dumb for voting for Trump because he's a felon and he supposedly likes children, and you do all these character attacks, and there's more there's more layers to the onion, and I think you don't go there. I think you like to get dumb people that come on here
Robert,
and
thank you for the
argue with them.
motorcycle. Thank you so much. I really
But I,
appreciate it,
but I
Robert. Thank you
really
so much. And
I
that's
think
why I
you're
enjoy
missing.
talking to you right now, Sam.
Well, I appreciate it. I enjoy talking to you too. I there's it's frustrating, right? Like we have two 80-year-old, 77-year-old, 81-year-old candidates that don't represent the majority of people and their views. And I think that both of them have their issues, but I mean, Parker, I hope you could understand why people would vote for Donald Trump when, like, I just, can you not see why they wouldn't vote for
Me
him? I mean,
describing someone's character is not a character attack. I just want to say, and why someone would vote for Biden. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I mean, and truth be
Yeah,
told, like,
because Trump's a proven sexual abuser, proven fraudster. He's been denying the election for the past years with no sufficient evidence to indicate that he won. He's got 34 felonies he's been convicted of. He stole classified documents and willfully retained those documents. He particularly advocates for the death penalty, which quite literally 4% of people on death row die that are innocent, and it's not a deterrent for crime. There's no good studies indicating that it's a deterrent for crime to a greater extent than what we currently have as it relates to the criminal justice system. Also, he's advocated to put people in prison for burning the American flag, which is against freedom of expression. He specifically advocated to eliminate the income tax and replace it with tariffs, which would effectively be a greater tax on working class Americans, because it is the case that they spend a greater proportion of their income on goods and services comparative to rich people. So again, when they're buying goods and services with the context of tariffs, which are passed down onto them, that means greater tax for the middle class, greater tax for the lowest quintile. It's regressive. The same way sales tax is regressive. Terrible policy. And he wouldn't even be able to fund the same level of goods and services or
so,
social programs. I mean, Sheila, thank
so
you so much for the $20.25.
yeah,
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Sheila. Thank you.
so let's talk about that then, right? So we're not going to acknowledge the fact that Trump repatriated so much money by allowing people to come back and do business in our country. There was so much repatriation of wealth. Um, he also had an America First
Can you give me
policy.
any source that indicates that?
Yeah, actually, I lived in Indiana, and I can't remember the name of the company. I think it was Carrier.
Like, what
But
policy did he pass that did that?
the Jobs and Tax Cut app
The
or
Tax Cut and Jobs Act? So give
yes,
me any evidence, statistically speaking, or a study that would indicate that the Tax Cut and Jobs Act brought more countries back to the United States than it lost.
Trump was able to bring back $1.5 trillion worth of wealth back to our country by allowing people to come back and do business. And you know, and I know
I didn't
both
ask for a
that
secondary claim. I asked for a source.
the reason why big businesses go overseas is because their labor is cheap. It's the same reason why Democrats and Republicans have both been
Christian,
fine
thank you so
with
much.
letting people come across our border because it's votes for Democrats and it's cheap labor.
You're not
for
answering my question,
Republicans.
sir.
You
Sir,
know
you're
it.
not answering my question. I asked you for a source. I didn't ask you for a
I
secondary
just told
claim
you.
of how
I
much
just
more
told
money
you.
added to the
I just
economy. I'm
gave you a
asking you
policy.
for a
You
source.
asked me to give you a source, and I just told you. Go and look it up yourself, Parker.
Go look it up yourself is not an argument. You know what that is? You know what that is?
Thanks.
Look at the source, bro. Check it out. It definitely proves my point. It proves my point, dude. I promise you. Trust me, please.
I don't know what to tell you, Parker. You're gonna sit up here and laugh, but Thursday,
Honestly, yes, absolutely.
Trump's
I'm
gonna
going to sit
muck
up here
the
and laugh.
floor with
Because that was
Biden.
such a silly point and you're voting on that? You're voting on just Google it, bro.
I'm voting on the fact that I care about taking care of Americans first.
Yeah, if you actually cared about taking care of
Not on
Americans,
insulin.
well,
Not
then
on
you would
insulin
advocate for
cap
universal health care.
and
You'd
the
advocate for
infrastructure
action
bill.
against climate change. You'd advocate for childcare in this country. You'd advocate for immigrants in this country because they're also American citizens. Or you'd advocate for real law and order, like putting this fucking felon in prison, right? This sexual abuser in prison. Real law and order, not the fake law and order bullshit where it's all for thee and not for me. Not for Trump, not for Daddy Trump, but for everyone else. Right, you'd be in support of women's rights, right, getting access to abortion in the first trimester when it literally is the case that you have Republicans out there that are not allowing great victims to have federal protections. You have Republicans out there that are specifically restricting access to contraception. What are you talking about? What side of history do you think you're on?
Parker, first off, there are plenty of Republicans that support gay rights, trans rights, women's rights to choose. This isn't an issue.
Shower. Thank you so much.
You're talking about the far right extreme that we had a small fraction in our country.
That is not a small fraction. Those are all
Yes, it
things
is,
Trump
buddy.
did.
The
Except for the
Marjorie
contraception.
the Marjorie Green Taylors of the world, and
Who
the
literally,
Matt
when I
Gaetzes
went
of
to
the
the
world
Las
are not
Vegas
the
rally
majority of
was
the
someone
Republican
that Donald
Party.
Trump brought up on stage?
That's
Appreciate the
one
box club.
person.
Thank you so much, Mila.
You don't think that?
Why does Donald Trump bring her up on stage then? If she's so fringe.
He brings her up on stage because there's a very tiny majority of the party that he wants to vote for him, and she represents
He wants the
that
fringe people to
base.
vote for him, yeah.
Yeah, just like how Joe Biden also has to keep the left wing of his party happy too by sucking.
That's
up
what he
to
does with the
AOC.
Proud Boys. That's what he does with the KKK. Appreciate the superpower. Thank you so much. He wants all those fringe people on the right to vote for him.
My God, you're really going to compare the modern Republican Party to the KKK? Parker, do you know anything about history? Who
Dude, you
started
just
the Ku
didn't
Klux
listen,
Klan?
Sam.
Who started the KKK?
Understand context of what I'm saying. Impossible challenge for Sam.
Who?
I said the KKK is voting for Trump. Listen.
Democrats were the ones that supported slavery, not the Republicans. The Republicans
Party
actually
flip.
freed
There's
the
a party
slaves.
flip. Were
You know
they
who
conservative
Abraham
or
Lincoln is?
liberal? Were they conservative or liberal, Sam?
What? Who was?
Were
what?
those Democrats that were involved with the KKK? Were they conservative or liberal?
I don't know if conservative or liberal is the way
They were
answer it.
conservative. Let's use a little more than one brain cell today, please.
Yeah, Parker, I guarantee I have more brain cells than the majority of the people that you have a conversation with on a daily basis.
Yeah, and that's not
That's your
saying
favorite
much.
thing to do
Two
is
is not much more. Two is not much
That is your
more.
favorite thing to do
Having
is bring
two is
dumb
not
people
much.
up here and attack them, and you can't handle having an honest conversation with someone that knows what they're talking about.
I have honest conversations with people. You don't know what you're talking about, and you act like you do. That's what's ridiculous. You're literally the Dunning-Kruger effect in real life. In real life.
Thanks. Again,
Appreciate it.
so anyways, going back to Trump and Biden, if you want to continue the way that we're living now, where people that if you go online, BlackRock and Blackwater own 60%
What is
of the
BlackRock?
bonds. It's a huge holding company that has bought up the majority of.
What do you mean by holding company?
They own a ton of publicly traded companies. They go in and buy them.
They own it? Do they have full
60%.
access, full control of it?
They own 60% of the S&P. They've bought up.
No, you said that they control it. It's theirs. It's their assets.
If they have over 50%, they probably control or own it, Parker.
Sam, they don't own over 50%. Also, I'm asking you the question, right? Do they own all of those assets?
Not every single one of them, but they're
No,
a majority
because
holder.
they're an investment company. They're investing on
They're a
behalf of
majority
other people's money.
holder.
It's not their assets. They're investing other people's assets because they specifically created an algorithm to be able to detect particular things in the market that allow for them to make more money. That's why people throw their money at these investment firms because they make them money.
Okay.
That's how capitalism works. You're just critiquing capitalism. You're not going off some fucking conspiracy theory where some little tiny fucking elite people control everything. Okay? Absolutely, there are classes in our society. There are absolutely people that are rich that have extraordinary power in our society. I'm not disputing that. But to just write it off as BlackRock controls everything is just so lazy.
It's not lazy, Parker. It's the fact that now that there's 60 to 70% of people making over $100,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck. It's the fact
Thank you
that
so much. You said 60%?
60 to 70% of people making over $100,000 a year are now living paycheck to paycheck.
That's hilarious. No,
No,
dude,
it's not
when you say
hilarious.
that, oh my god,
Maybe
bro.
in your little bubble.
Oh my
in
god.
California.
Okay. When you say paycheck to paycheck, right? People living paycheck to paycheck over 100K, that's specifically due to their budgeting. That's
No.
not the budgeting
Parker,
of our
you are
economy.
insane.
What are you talking about?
Absolutely insane. Parker, if you make over $100,000 a year
In the United States, you're going to
yes,
be fine.
you're making what after taxes, you're probably bringing home $5,000-6,000 a year. When you count it, when you take into
$5,000-6,000 a year. What are you talking about?
that's not what I said. $5,000-6,000 a month after taxes.
You said a year, but
Okay,
$5,000
whatever.
to $6,000. No, you'd be pulling in more than that.
Parker,
okay?
what is it?
How much
what does it
percent do you
cost?
think of 100K is taxed?
30%, 40%. When you
It would be like 25 to 30%
No,
if
it
you
would be
live in a
30
state in which is a high state income tax rate.
yeah. And so if you're giving 30% to the government and you're a smart person, you're putting 15%.
Yeah, so
away
you're making
for
like
IRA or-
$70,000-$80,000 a year.
Okay.
Right?
What's the
After
average?
tax. Yeah, you're gonna be fine in the United
Okay,
States.
Parker, I'll play your game then. Let's say that.
What do you mean play my game?
yeah.
The median income in this country is like $30,000-$40,000 a year. Okay?
Which is
That means
barely
50% of people make less than that. Okay?
Okay,
If you're making
anyways.
$100,000 a year, $80,000 a year after tax, you definitely are going to be good. Saying that because they're living paycheck to paycheck is representative of our entire economy being bad is not a good way to look at that. There are definitely better indicators you can use to show that. Not specifically, right? People over 100K are living paycheck to like what?
It's true. And again, you live in California. You guys live in your own world over there with your governor, that basically lets people shit everywhere. But whatever.
What? That makes no sense. What
You
policy
know
did you
exactly
pass
what
that
I'm
did that?
talking about. Go watch the Ron.
Sam,
go watch
I
the
live in
DeSantis
Los
debate.
Angeles. I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Okay, I'm sure you don't. Back to what we were talking about. People that make what is that? Hey, Parker, what's the average mortgage right now? Cost the average American for a $300,000 home?
I don't know. I'd have to calculate that with the current interest rates, which they can refinance later on.
Yeah. And the interest rates are what, Parker?
Like
What are they?
6-7%.
6, 7. What did they used to be?
Like they were like near zero during COVID, but it
Yeah,
depends.
they
Like
were-
if you're talking about mortgage rates, they were like probably like a little bit under 3% at the lowest.
Correct. So it basically costs now double what it was 4 years ago to own a home.
Who influences the interest rate?
The Fed. It's the
Okay,
Treasury bill.
who appointed the chairman of the Fed?
Joe Biden when he became president.
Wrong. You want to bet?
It's not an elected position, Parker. So you tell me.
Sam, you said that Joe Biden appointed the chairman of the Fed. You want to bet?
I'm pretty sure the president appoints who the Fed who oversees.
Yeah,
the
but
Fed.
it wasn't Joe Biden.
Who was it
It
then?
was Donald Trump.
I'm talking about right now, Parker. Interest rates are 6 to 8%.
The chairman of the Fed
it
that
is
exists right now was
$3,000.
appointed by Donald Trump.
It is $3,000.
Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, right, literally was appointed by Donald Trump.
Parker, listen to what I'm saying, please. It is
Killer Cakes, thank you for the $3,
It
and
is-
Riley, thank you for the $15. Thank you so much. Zid, I also appreciate the $1.11. Thank you.
It is $2,500 to $3,000 a month to get a mortgage for a $300,000 to $500,000 house. The smallest car payment right now in our country is anywhere from $500 to $600 for a new car. It is $1,200 a month.
I don't know where you're
1,000
getting
to
these numbers from, but
$1,000 to $1,200 a month to send a child to daycare. Parker,
so
what
universal childcare.
Parker, what world are you living in? I'm serious. You sit.
What world are you living in? You're literally looking at things that are not relevant to the president. You're not talking about how these things have nothing to do with Joe Biden. What are you talking about, Sam? You have no understanding of economics at
I'm
all.
talking about that the average American right now does not feel like their money from 4 years ago goes the same way it does. And Parker, you can say whatever
It was
you
a
want,
global
but
pandemic, no shit.
on November 11th, everybody is going to see it, and it is going to suck.
Yeah, you know, my grandma
have no
thinks that
choice.
her money doesn't go as far as it did in the 1940s. Okay, what was your point?
Okay, but the 1940s was fucking 80 years ago. We're talking about 4 years ago, Parker. Be real right now.
I understand inflation goes up over time. If we have an extensive amount of inflation in a particular time period, of course you're going to see differences in the how far your dollar can go. Again, doesn't mean it's caused by Joe Biden. You've acknowledged this like 6 times in this conversation, yet you're still harping on this point. It's actually fucking insane.
What's insane is that you sit up here and try to convince people that Joe Biden has done a better job for this country than Donald Trump did. That's what's insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of insulin and infrastructure and all this other bullshit that normal people don't give a shit about, Parker.
People care about infrastructure. That's literally one of the things that Donald Trump ran on. The $35 cap on insulin is something that Trump also tried to get through, right? Which is it's ironic that you're saying that it's bad, right? What was the other thing you claimed?
I'm just saying that the issues that you talk about, people don't care about. You read off of a list. It's so obvious.
I'm not reading off of any list.
You read off of a list. Let's talk about what's going on overseas.
I think it's funny that because I remember a few things that you think I'm reading off a list.
I mean, it just, you harp the same things over and over again, and it's hard to.
Do you think diabetic people care about affordable insulin?
I think people care about whether the world.
Answer the question.
If I answer the question, will you answer my question?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, I think people that have.
So you said no one cares about these things, but you're clearly fucking.
Okay, that was a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
But I think what people care about, what the majority of people care about, is whether or not they're going to be able to provide for their family, whether they're going to be able to keep their family safe, which is the worry that everyone has right now with all of the things going on in the world right now. Ukraine, Israel, Russians now have ships in Cuba. Taiwan.
You understand that also happened in 2020?
This did not happen when Trump was president.
Yes, it did.
You
want
can
to
say
bet?
whatever. You can say that he went over and kissed.
Sam, you're literally just lying. You're just lying.
That's not a lie.
You absolutely are lying.
Real.
In 2020, they also went near Cuba. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You're reading off, you're not reading off. You're literally just perpetuating fucking Republican talking points because you didn't want to look further into it. All of the things that you believe in are things that you just were told that you didn't fucking critically think about. What I'm getting you to do specifically with these lives is to critically think about your worldview. Think about whether or not it's caused by these particular things. Because yeah, a lot of people out there are going to believe in things, right, and vote on things that don't have any good reason. That doesn't mean you should. I don't care what a fucking majority of the people are arguing. What's the best reason? And give me an argument. If you can't do so, it's just a feeling, and you're placing feelings over facts. What happened to the facts over feelings?
I'm going to give you the reason right now. What happened the last time Russia tried to put missiles inside of Cuba, Parker? What happened? Go ahead and tell me. This isn't a feeling. This is something that actually historically happened, and I'd love to hear. What happened?
Sam, listen. The same thing that just happened near Cuba, I just told you this.
What
happened in 2020 under Donald Trump's presidency?
What happened the last time that Russia invaded a country 70, 80 years ago with Nazi Germany?
I don't know which country you're referencing.
You know what I'm talking about, Parker.
No,
what happened
I don't.
To Poland? No, what happened to Poland, Parker?
What about Poland? Like the Polish people were enslaved.
Yes, Russia
the Polish
went
people
in.
were taken advantage of. They were killed at mass.
Exactly. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen if we don't stop it? They're going to keep pushing, right?
Are you talking about Ukraine?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
are you arguing to defend Ukraine now?
I wasn't ever against defending Ukraine, Parker.
Why are you arguing this right now?
Because you're telling me to stop talking about how I feel and talk about facts. And we're talking about international. I said people want to feel safe.
That was such a pivot. That has nothing to do with the
No, it's
feelings
not
or
a
facts
pivot,
combo.
Parker. You don't want to talk about real things. You want to sit here and talk
We
about
just
your
talked about that
talking
earlier,
points.
Sam.
No, you want to sit up here and talk about your talking points that you feel comfortable about, but you don't want to talk about
Sam, I open up conversation to everything on this, related to the topic, of course.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like, you have no clue what you're talking about. I've literally let you talk about plenty of
How
things.
do I have no clue what I'm talking about? I just asked you what happened in Poland during
Appreciate
World
the
War
media
II.
shower.
You
Thank you
said
so
you
much,
didn't
sir.
know what happened.
I
So
was
who doesn't
talking
know
about
what they're
related to this
talking about?
conversation, and I just explained to you what happened. You also didn't mention you were referencing Poland until a bit later.
Okay. Parker, it
What
doesn't
year did Germany invade Poland?
1941,
No.
1939.
There you go. So
Oh, dang,
I don't know
2
what I'm
years
talking
off.
about. But you say 1941, which is literally when the U.S. got involved.
Yeah. So
After 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 well,
okay, so back to my
1942,
point.
1941.
All of this crazy stuff going on in the world, Israel, Ukraine, China, impeding on Taiwan, this was not happening during Trump. This is happening because under
Yeah, it
Biden's
was.
leadership, he's weak. People sense it. They don't respect him. People
Can you give me
respect
any evidence
Donald
of
Trump.
that? Because
Yeah.
I can look
Can I
at
give you
global
evidence?
approval ratings extraordinarily low for Donald Trump. I can show you articles of Putin and Assad mocking Trump, our allies, Justin Trudeau, Boris Johnson, and Emmanuel Macron laughing at Trump at the G7 summit insofar as that he saw it, baby raged, and left the event. Right? Trump is literally a worldwide joke. And you like try to say that fucking Biden is? Give me any
Yeah.
evidence that's true. He's been in
But
international politics for decades. Give me any indication in the decades of available information that shows that they don't respect him. Appreciate
yeah.
it, Andart.
So number one, Biden and Obama are the ones that gave Iran money so that they could buy
Appreciate
nuclear
confetti, thank you.
weapons and
They
attack
didn't give them
Israel.
money. You have
Yes,
no
they
clue
did.
what
They
you're
gave him a
referencing.
pallet full of cash, and
Appreciate
you
the
know it,
hearts.
Parker.
No, they
And
didn't.
Russia did
Appreciate
not
the hearts. Thank
invade.
you. That
Russia
was
did
their
not.
listen, Sam.
Russia invaded.
Sam,
Okay.
Sam. Thank you for the hearts. That was their own money. One thing. Two, that was necessary for a deal to broker a deal for denuclearization. Do you want them to denuclearize, or do you want conflict between the U.S. and Iran?
So we gave them money to denuclearize. So they
Oh,
took the money
We
and
did
bought
not give
nuclear
them
weapons.
money.
That's a
We
great
gave them
argument,
back
Parker.
their own fucking money, Sam. I just explained that to you.
Okay. Second point, Russia
Sam, I
invaded.
don't understand why you're so dense, bro. It's like I
Really?
explain something, you immediately don't address it, and
I've
like
not.
move on to another
Parker,
thing and pivot.
Parker, I'm not pivoting. I'm going back to what we're talking about, and this is what
Sure.
you do. You have no substance. You love to argue with dumb
I have no
people.
substance. You can't
That's why
argue
you
against.
pull Trump
Yeah, that's
supporters
why I
up
love
here.
arguing with you, Sam.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I love arguing with dumb people.
You-
That's why I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Tristan, thank you so much for the $13.12. Thank you so much, Tristan. I really appreciate it.
All right. Back to my point. Putin invaded Georgia under Bush. He invaded
Global, thank you
Crimea
for the
under.
subscription. Thank you so much.
He invaded Crimea under Obama, but he didn't invade any other
Annexed.
countries under Trump. But he did it under Biden because he knew he could get away with it.
You're just assuming intentions
No,
here.
I'm not assuming intentions,
Yeah,
Parker.
you
I'm
are.
paying attention to history.
What evidence do you have to assume this intention?
What I could ask you the opposite thing, Parker. That makes no sense. I can't assume anyone's intentions. That's not something that you can do.
No, like how? What? Again, I'm asking just for evidence to indicate that this is their intention. You're just engaging in a correlation causation fallacy. Just because these two things are associated doesn't mean one causes the other.
Man, you live in a bubble. That's all I'm going to say, Parker.
No response to the
You're a
argument.
really-
I call out the argument. I give
you're a
reason.
really
I give
smart
substance,
guy,
and he gives me nothing.
But
He says,
you
"No,
live in a
that's his
bubble.
substance. His substance is so strong. It's so good. What great substance?" He says, "Nuh-uh, nuh-uh."
All right. Well, you enjoy pulling a bunch of idiots on your podcast tonight,
Including you.
yeah, and attacking them and talking about all these things.
Yeah, we're going to be attacking the idiots. You agree?
Yeah. All right.
Attacking
So
the Trump
Parker-
supporters. Agreed.
Yeah, I'm actually voting for JFK Jr., so I'm not voting for Trump or
JFK, you
Biden.
don't even know who
Yeah.
you're voting for. RFK.
Yeah, I do. RFK Jr. Yes, I know who I'm voting
Nice
for.
job. Name one policy proposal he has.
He's going to use. He wants to do federal bonds to correct the housing market right now.
How would that do that?
How would he do that?
No, how would federal bonds correct the housing market?
Because we could, instead of having to go to private banks to borrow money, we could do it through the federal government by using government-backed bonds. I'm not an idiot, Parker.
Oh, okay, so what you're saying is that that we sell the U.S. bonds?
Well, what do you mean by we? We are the U.S.
No, you're
bonds.
saying that we would be able to get loans from the government, right?
Correct. It would compete with private companies because I
So
believe
we're
that,
selling them bonds. You're saying that?
no, we're not selling them
That makes no.
bonds.
So how
That
can
you
they
can't do
sell
that.
us bonds and then also we are the ones getting the loan? That makes no sense at all.
The U.S. government would
Brock, you
tax
think of the $2?
the U.S. government would raise capital by taxing us and then competing with the banks by lowering interest rates.
Okay, so if they just lower interest rates, that's so you're just saying that they give out loans to us, okay? Right, and when they give out loans to us, they give
Parker,
out
this
loans
isn't
in which have
complicated. The
lower
government
levels of
is literally who
interest.
funds the education
Push the
system.
glowing
Why are you
jellyfish. Thank
making
you so
this
much,
so much
Finn.
complicated than it is?
I'm
You literally,
clarifying the
why are you
statement.
making it so hard? You know what I'm talking about.
I'm not making it hard. I'm just clarifying the statement so that we can go over it to make sure this is what you're saying. Would you rather me just assume what you're saying? My bad for trying to clarify, Sam. Wow.
You know that the government subsidizes other things. You don't have to sit here and pick what I'm saying apart to make me feel like I'm an idiot. I'm not playing into your game, Parker.
Wait, so you came up on my live to not debate me?
I came up on
You're like,
your
Parker,
live chat.
Parker, stop
Parker,
making me look bad. Parker, please don't debate me. Please. Like, what?
I'm waiting for you to finish. Are you done?
I was already done talking
Okay.
clearly.
I came on here to have a civil conversation with you, which you obviously don't know how to do with people because all you do is call Trump a rapist, a felon. First off, there's people
Both
that there's
factual.
people
Both factual.
those are people
I said
that
proven
are
sexual abuser, but he is a rapist, right? That's true,
okay.
right?
But there's people also that are felons that have nonviolent crimes that, and you're attacking by calling him a felon. You're basically going on your platform and saying things about felon. You have not all felons are terrible people. Actually, a lot of people that are felons were put
Never
in
made that
jail.
argument.
So then why do you bring it up? Why do you say that? Why is it a bad thing that he's a felon? Are all felons bad people? Or are you just going to keep calling him a felon? Why is that
No,
relevant to
it's
what we're talking
indicative
about?
of lies. It's indicative of constant and repeated bad actions. Do you think it's not bad to engage in like a felony typically? Like, do you think falsifying business records, right, with the explicit reason of preventing these particular types of stories coming out related to the election isn't a bad thing to do?
Well,
Do you think fraud's not a
how
bad thing
many
to do?
people
Do you
did
think sexual
Biden put
abuse,
in jail for
defamation
drug
isn't a
bill?
bad thing to do?
How many felons did Biden create by his bills that he's created to put a lot of people in jail for
Push the
using
box up. Thank you
drugs?
so much.
Why aren't you? Why is that something that you don't ever bring up?
Wait, Trump is actually advocating for that, right? But I
No,
do
he's
disagree
not.
with the drug war in general. Yeah, Trump does. He wants to put drug dealers in prison. I mean, not in prison on the death penalty,
You
death
talk
row.
about Trump being a racist. Joe Biden said that is recorded saying the N word.
Push that mustache. Thank you so
He's
much.
put people in
And same thing
jail
with
for.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump would call a particular contestant on The Apprentice by the N word. Okay.
You
They
call
also
you,
had how he also had housing discrimination lawsuits where they would specifically tell right white families there were openings, right, and black families that there were not openings. Right. They would mark applications of non-white individuals with the letter C, so they would tell them that there are not openings, and then tell white families there are openings.
you
The
called
Central
Trump.
Park Five. What about that?
You
Where he
said
hasn't
that
apologized when they've
you've
been
said that
exonerated.
Trump has sexually assaulted people. Have you not watched the video of Joe Biden rubbing people's wives' backs and sniffing little kids' hair and kissing them? He's
Wait. You
disgusting
understand?
too.
Wait. So I can show you a video of Donald Trump
I've
touching
already
and
seen
kissing
that
children.
video. That
I can
little
also, let
girl
me
was
please
at a
finish. Let me
rally.
please
She was
finish. Let me
smiling.
please finish.
Quit
Let me
your
please.
bullshit,
Let
Parker.
me please finish. I'm not bullshitting. I can show you a video of Donald Trump touching and kissing kids. You can't show me the video of Joe Biden sniffing someone. The touching of the shoulders. That's literally him greeting people, but he's acknowledged this, said, oh, I shouldn't be doing this because I acknowledge this could be against personal space. So he acknowledges that it's not something that he should do because it could be against personal space, but it is the case that that's how he's greeting people and how he does stuff, right? Typically speaking, whether it be a man or a woman.
Parker.
That's specifically what he addressed by, right? So again, we have multiple instances of we have bad or inappropriate behavior of Biden where he specifically acknowledges it, he apologizes it, and he moves on, right? Do we say that same thing with Donald Trump? Give me one instance of him acknowledging something bad he did and moving forward and doing better,
One instance where he apologized.
like legitimately apologized.
I don't know if I have. I don't know if I have one. I don't know if I can say I know I don't know if there's an incident. He did apologize for saying that Carly Fiorina was ugly or the way that her face was. I remember him That's the one time I've heard him apologize, which is a stupid thing to say, but you did ask me, so I wanted
Let's hear his
to.
apology.
I'm not gonna. You can. Go look up the Ronald Reagan. There was a debate in
Agor,
California.
thank you for the $5. Thank you so much.
When he apologized to Carly Fiorina because he said, "Who would vote for a woman that has a face like that?"
All right,
That's
let's
all.
look this
That's
up.
all.
Of course, he said something crazy like that. So, Trump apologizes for what? Apologizes to who?
Carly Fiorina.
To Carly with the K?
No, it's Carly Fiorina.
Fiorina. Okay.
And Parker.
No, he called for an apology from them. I just got age restricted. What the fuck? What did I do? What did I do? That's so fucked. He literally got age restricted and got me age restricted, chat. I'm so frustrated, bro. Why do they do this, chat? That fucks the algorithm for the stream, everyone. At 4.5, that's so tough, bro. That's so tough. Do we just restart now, everyone? Do we just restart now? Probably would be beneficial to do that. Yeah, restart. Okay, all right, everyone. We're gonna hit a restart real quick. We'll be right back. If you want to check out in the meantime the video that I just posted, for some reason it doesn't seem the video's like sending out. So do make sure to go check it out. Check out the video I just posted while I do hit a restart real quick. TikTok's super annoying. I don't know why they just age restricted me. I will be right back, everyone. Again, follow me if you have not already, y'all. I go live literally every single day and we talk about this. I will be right back, everyone. Love y'all so much. We are back.
Oof, 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 oof. What am I getting hit with? Relax, Chief. Oh my goodness. The fists again. GG, buddy. Let me tell you what, guys. Give me 1 second and I will be right back. Just give me 1 second and I will be right back.
Whatever, do tap that screen that's run up to 200,000 likes, share live as well. Everyone, only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. We're just looking for some debates. You already know the deal, everyone. We're going to start getting people up here in a minute, everyone. So everyone, please only do send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. All right. What's up, everyone joining? What's up, Gen X? How you doing? Wait, are you voting for Trump? Hell no. I'm asking people why they're voting for them. Why would I be? All right, let's get this next break. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Shannon. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 20.
Your birth year?
2004,
What month?
February.
Okay, are you voting for Trump?
Yeah,
Why so?
because I like him. Fuck you.
Wow, dude, that was so funny. Oh my God, dude. That was hilarious. Wow. I bet your friends on Discord thought you were so cool for that one. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
25.
Are you voting for Trump?
That's the plan.
Why so? I think it's Big Daddy.
I think it's more of the just platforms that separate being a Democrat and a Republican. I don't necessarily look to any politician to be any sort of moral arbiter. It's more about the the mindset and how they want to run the government and how they think the federal government should be involved in your daily lives. And I think for me, that aligns more on the Republican side.
So are you against like violations of the Constitution?
What do you mean?
Like if they violate the Constitution, do you think that's a bad thing? Like the president, they advocate for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like when Trump advocates to put people in prison for burning the American flag, which is against freedom of expression, you're against that?
When he advocates against what? I'm sorry.
When he advocates for putting people in prison for a year for burning the American flag, when that's against freedom of expression, right? Like that?
Yeah, I mean, look.
So you don't want to vote for him?
Look, once again, I don't think you're going to find any politician where you agree with every single thing they do. The question is, when you have the check boxes of what's most important to you when it comes to being an American voter, you have to calculate the cost benefit analysis of what checks off the most boxes and what's going to make your
Yeah, I get your point. What's the relevant difference between Trump and Biden insofar as that you think that Trump is better than Biden?
I think that as far as what the federal government should be doing, I think, as of now, people are more divided than ever. So whoever gets the baton and the power in the government, they're going to use it to whack the other side on the head as much as possible. And so I believe
Yeah. So can you?
Always a mindset.
That's not really an answer to my question. Can you name a policy that Donald Trump influenced to get past that benefit the middle class?
I think a lot of times it's not the policies you pass, it's the things that you don't do to leave it up to the local and state levels of things. So
Things
when
that you don't
vote-
do?
And I think a lot of people, when it comes to voting, what they look for is like not what they're going to do and wave their magic wand of executive power in order to try to make your lives better that 50% of people might love and 50% of people might hate. But what can they leave their hands off on to allow people to have their own agency to make the decisions that better them, their lives for themselves? That's all.
Appreciate it, Henry. Thank you so much. So like pro-choice. Are you pro-choice? Roberta, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. I am a little bit sick.
That's not something I am personally, what's the word I'm looking for? Passionate about. I tend to be more on the pro-life side for sure. But as far as the role, once
So
again, I think
restricting
that
people's choices
I think it goes back to the
when
federal.
it comes to women.
It's because like people in California aren't going to think the same as people in Florida, especially now. That's why the lines are.
Yeah, and you could say people in one household aren't going to think the same as people in another one. Why enforce your particular claims over another person? If you want to leave it up to the states, why not take it all the way down to the households?
Well, I mean, there's always a threshold for any sort of issue. Like, you should be able to impose your views to, for example, not commit like actual murder on people, but that's like something everyone always agrees with. The question is what percentage of population is going to agree with one side of an argument? And with that, is that something that's going to have enough public support to be pushed down from a federal level? Which is why, once again, it's important for things to work from the grassroots up, because laws for most of American history were only passed with overwhelming public support. And nowadays we're getting to a point to where if you can just get a little bit more than the majority, there's some big changes that'll be made, which only...
No. Do you know what the filibuster is?
Yes.
So that's not just over 51.
Well, yes, but I mean, would you agree or disagree that nowadays there's a lot more power taken from the executive branch than say like 100 years ago, or the way the Constitution was originally designed with federalism? Like, and that's on
Sure,
both
I don't really
sides.
care though.
Like,
I don't care about the Constitution. I don't, but like I'm just saying that if you have your own values related to the Constitution and he's violating that, well then wouldn't you think that's bad? I don't have to specifically say that. Also, Trump doesn't care about the Constitution either.
So what do you mean you don't care about the Constitution?
I think we need a new document. Totally new one. We need to rewrite a document.
So, like, do you not like the idea of the way the government was originally set up to have like local, state, federal levels all having their own?
I'm okay with local, state, and federal having different types of things that they determine, but I am more for like certain like types of laws to be on like a federal scale, to be like federally enforced rather than it just be statewide, right? I really only see statewide policy for like real basic things, right? Like whether or not they want like a bike lane in this particular area, right? Like that's more of the statewide policy that I would be a proponent of. right?
Right.
Not like whether or not someone has access to health care, or whether or not someone has access to a house, or whether or not someone has access to basic necessities. I don't think that should be up to the states.
Yeah.
I don't think abortion rights should be up to the states. I think everyone should. I think they should have a choice, right? Prior to
Yeah,
certain
but
age,
yeah,
of course.
but that particular instance, it seems like, well, obviously it's a highly divided topic amongst the country. I just would think that anything that has such people that are willing to just dig their feet in for the extremes of each side, that it wouldn't necessarily make the most sense to.
Isn't that what
have
Trump's
it-
doing? You brought up like division of the country. Like, if anything, we can attribute like a greater level of division to Donald Trump.
Isn't he more moderate on abortion compared to a lot of the right? Like he's
Well,
like
I
leaving
mean,
up to the states and do this when, like, for example,
He said that only recently, but like before he was in support of it. That was a political move. So he was
Well,
essentially
for
just
sure. I
trying
mean,
to
everyone makes
appeal to a
political
broader subset of voters.
of course, like that's what politicians do, and that's how they win. But it's, I don't know. I just think a lot of issues now are divided very strongly down the middle. So would the answer be whoever gets power by just a small amount? I mean, from an electoral standpoint, to go ahead and try to push forward their whole agenda on the rest of the 48%.
I don't
of the
know what you're
country that
advocating.
disagrees?
Like, that's not
federal
what happens
power
with our
isn't
legislative.
necessarily good for a country that has a lot of people, a lot more people from different backgrounds now, with as many immigrants that are coming in.
I am totally okay with federal policy, as long as it benefits us, right? And we can talk about the arguments for that. Like, I'm not okay with a federal abortion ban. And that would be insane. Appreciate the boxing up. Thank you so much. Vin.
What do you think it should take for a federal ban or law to be passed? Like, how much public support? Like, because you mentioned a new document. So, in your document, what would it take to get something like that passed in your mind? Because, like, a federal abortion ban, for example, I would say less than the majority of Americans agree with a full blown, like, full ban.
Well, the document would essentially protect all rights, and then we'd be able to vote on everything else. That's the point. So, like, how much percent of the population would we need? I don't give a shit. I think it should be over 50, right? Majority of the country, majority of the people in office want a particular policy, right? They influence to get it passed. That's okay, as long as we have fundamental rights protected in the context of a new document.
But isn't the rights thing, like, there's so many different ways to argue what a right is.
Okay. Well, what's the point, though?
So the point is, like, even if 52% of people agree something is a right, like, it's hard to even come to a conclusion what should or should not be a right amongst the population. So having something passed on the whole
Using that
country,
same argument, you could reduce all rights down to nothing.
I know it's not like a black. And
So
white
it's
standard.
gonna be wherever. Yeah, I'm not saying it's black and white.
So with that, when people have differing opinions, I just don't get the idea of cramming down something that people that a lot of issues are half and half. That once again, that you're.
I
gonna
don't know
cram-
what you're trying to say.
I don't think you should cram down any sort of law that close to half the country would fundamentally disagree with. I think it's bad because all that's going
What
to
percent
do.
of the country do you think should support a bill for it to get passed?
That's a question that once again people would have to all come to a conclusion on. I don't. Think
I'm asking you, not people.
Okay, I would say like 85%, 90%.
You're not going to pass any policy.
Yeah, that's the point. Though.
80. Yeah, you want to pass no policy. That's a terrible point.
That's the point. The federal government was made to be limited for a reason because people lived in different areas with different ideals.
We need the ability to accommodate to new environmental conditions as our society is rapidly changing.
Because
If
here's
we
the
kept
thing,
our society the same as what it was in the fucking 1700s, do you realize how much of a change we've undergone due to technology and plenty of other societal factors?
Of course, but the difference
So
is you don't
we have to be able to
follow-
change our legislation with societal factors.
The difference is you don't have to start it from the federal level. Like, imagine you started from the local level, you come up, you're the mayor of a town, you come up with a great law that works well and it does the things you want it to accomplish. That's going to spread. And then as it works up and through the localities, through the states, that's when it should make it to the federal level. Not from the top down. That's my take, and that's why I think a lot of people, not just me, prefer the Republican
Why
Party.
reduce it? Why not reduce it even further down to the household?
I mean, I mean, I guess you all in your own household have your own rules that you follow, but it's
Yeah, like why would we want 50-50 for a particular community? If you don't want 50-50 for a federal, why do you want 50-50 for a particular community? The
because
wants of me might be way different from the wants of you.
a lot of times the reason you live in a community is because you share similar ideals to the people
There you
that
go.
you live with. And
Not necessarily, but like the point I would make is that
in
in
the
the context
past,
of our society, we have other people we have to engage with. That's a part of the society that we exist in.
right, right, yeah. I mean, I I don't really know what you mean by bringing it down to the household and how that's better. Like,
No, why do you want to bring it down to the state? Because the same arguments you use to reduce it down to a state, I could say could reduce you down further from a state to local, and from local to
yeah,
households.
right. I well,
Thank you. Good evening.
the
Thank you.
further you get
Mustache.
down, like the further you get down, like to a household, like if you have a family, you're going to have the most similar ideals because you're raising your kids, for example, the way you want them to be raised. And so, as you continue to work up into bigger groups of people from different backgrounds that do different things, it's going to be harder to come to conclusions. And when it comes to laws, for the most part, it should be one, things that are fundamentally
It's harder to come to conclusions
good or
in
bad.
a community than it is on a household level. Same argument you just used against making it federalized, I can use to reduce you down to a household.
What do you mean it's harder to make something in a household? Like I feel like families agree on a lot of basic ideals. That's why they're families, and that's why you have a lot of traits that your parents have because they raise
It's
you
like
the
he
same
doesn't
way.
listen, bro. Bro, I'm saying it's easier for you to come to compromise in a household on typical than it is community wide scale
Of course,
because there's
I'm
less
with you.
desires to take into account. Okay? So the same argument you just used to reduce it down to states or reduce it down to local communities, you can use to reduce your view down to individualized households.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm not. I must be dumb. I don't get what you're saying, but I just think overall, from a Republican Party standpoint, they spend out the wazoo as well. I'm not denying that. Trump's not perfect by any sense. I don't think, yes, there's going to be 20% of the Republican Party that'll walk through burning glass for him. But, you know, a lot of people, they just look at it from a fundamental. And it's like in your overall live thing where it says Trump found guilty, why are you voting for him? I can guarantee that, well, I can't guarantee, but if you were to flip that around and be like, Trump is running on everything that you disagree with already, but say he's a church mouse, doesn't do anything wrong, but everything that he would instill in the government you fundamentally disagree with and you think would be catastrophic for the country. But Joe Biden does everything you disagree with or you agree with, but he's a convicted felon. Would you be voting for him? I think the vast majority of people would say yes, they'll still vote for him because it's not about the person, it's about what they stand for and the
Depends
vision
on what
for
the felony, and you have yet to actually show how those things would be the same, as it is the case that you'd have to demonstrate the particular things that Joe Biden would do to destroy the country.
So let's say, once again, keep everything the same about Trump, but without the legal troubles. And keep everything the same about Joe Biden, but the exact same legal troubles that Trump has. Would you vote for Joe Biden?
So it's not just same legal. Yeah, I would not vote for Biden in that scenario. Yeah,
Really?
because morality and personal character matters, I think, most for presidency, as it is the case that the policy that they're particularly advocating for could change dependent upon the new information that they have. If they're a genuine person, open minded, if they have morality that's good, right, they're going to change predicated off of the new information that exists. I think it's significantly more important to have a president that has good character, right, than to have a person that is only policy and bad character. Because ultimately speaking, it seems that the good policy isn't predicated off of their character. It seems the good policy is predicated off other things.
Well, that's impressive, man, because I think most people would suggest they'd still vote for Biden in that case. So got a good head on your shoulders. But that's all I got, man.
Nothing else? Okay. All right.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, let's go on to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App in the bio, everyone. Yo, what's up, Hal? Liam? Thank you for the super chat, thank you. Yeah, are you going to be voting for Trump?
Hell yeah, bro.
Why so?
Man, Trump's the man, dog. You know that. Trump is the man. He's the man with the plan to get this country back on track.
Okay.
Facts, though. You can agree with me. Right, Parker?
And give me, what plan?
Man, the border plan, fixing inflation.
I'm asking what
you
the
know,
plan was,
cracking.
not like a general context of things. And also, you have to say C drug.
Wait, what'd you say?
You have to say C
What was that
drug.
last part?
You have to say C drug. If you can't say that again because it's gonna age restrict the live.
Why? What'd I say that was wrong?
CRAC. It's TikTok TOS.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, I ain't trying to get your live ban, so maybe you should have someone else come in here who's a little more on the good side, because I'm a crazy MAGA for life. You don't want to get me started, Parker.
Okay, well then let's give me one policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class.
Oh, let's not talk about the middle class for one, but what do you think about the audit he
Don't
did
pivot.
in tracking the Pentagon's money? The first president to ever do a full audit on the Pentagon's money. Come on.
Sean, I
He
asked you a
cracked
question.
down on robocalls.
Do I need to mute you?
Oh, the child tax credit. There you go.
Which child tax credit?
The child tax credit that benefited my children, specifically because of
which
Donald
child
J.
tax
Trump.
credit?
The one that he passed through Congress. Come on, don't play
No,
dumb, Parker.
it wasn't. That was not the policy.
Wait, are you paid by the DNC? Just be honest.
No.
I really think Harry is, though.
Yeah, because you're delusional.
I'm not delusional. Hey, how old are you, Parker?
I'm 22.
You're done, man. They do a draft, dude. You're done. You think you'd last a day and more?
You don't know anything about the draft, so we are already required to sign up for selective service. I already had to do this prior to this bill. This just automates the process, and it's only been passed through the House. Hasn't been passed through the Senate and signed into law yet.
Okay, so you don't think with everything going on right now, and Biden knowing he has no chance to beat Trump in the debates, no chance to beat Trump in the election, you don't think they would purposely do a draft just to put the election on hold? Come on, man. And you going, boy.
no.
You going.
No. Can you give me any historical
all
evidence
that-
of that happening?
Oh, it could happen. If there's war and there's a draft,
In the modern era,
an
can
election
you
year?
give me any evidence of that occurring? If you
I
have no
don't know
evidence of
any
that occurring in
evidence
the
of
modern
it.
era, if you have no evidence of that occurring in the modern era, wouldn't that indicate that the proposition that you just gave to us is improbable?
not really, because things change, and that's basically
Yeah, but it's improbable
Think of
because
it,
there's no
the
good
felon-
evidence supporting it. And yo, Catherine,
Think of
thank you
it.
so much for the $20.04. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Catherine. Thank you so much. W Catherine in the comment section.
$20.04. Damn, you paying taxes on all this Cash App money you getting, bro? Just like Biden, and anything on PayPal or Venmo, all that, 500 or more, you got to pay taxes on, So I hope you're paying taxes, bro. You don't want to get a tax invasion.
Yeah, I pay taxes.
But would you be
Unlike Trump.
I know Trump, like people might say, oh, he was a draft dodger. Would you be a draft dodger and go to prison instead?
No, I would just take
I don't know.
I would just take the test and I wouldn't test to the front lines.
I don't know, between you, Harry, and Tommy, like all you people. I mean, Jaden, he's cool. His voice, the voices he does, but that's cool. But I don't know. When I look at you guys, especially Harry, and, his cheeks get all red, I couldn't see y'all on the front line, man. You guys just ain't really, like, manly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
the only people that would test onto the front line are you.
Yeah, I would go. I would serve my country.
You understand
Yep.
that when you take the test, when you get drafted, most people don't go to the front lines.
But you're
He
gonna do
actually
something.
he's not to the level to understand what I just said.
Oh no, I'm at the level. I just think it's funny that you guys sit on here and you have nothing better to do. You have nothing good going. You guys don't talk about good things that are going to benefit America in the long
We
run.
have,
You
we have
guys just
nothing
hate
good
it.
going, yet you waited in my guest box to talk to me. That's hilarious.
I just got
Sean.
on here. I just got on here. I didn't
And,
wait.
and
I
you watched
was.
my live enough. You watched Harry's live enough to know things about us. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just funny.
yet you're still
you know, it's
here.
just.
It's really
I
funny.
am still here.
It is really funny.
I am
Dude.
still, it is funny, bro. It is. Yeah, you guys are. Nah, you guys got a lot up to do, bro. Because when Trump wins, what's your plan
So,
on
yeah.
TikTok? You gonna keep bashing Trump for 4 more years?
Yeah, I'll talk about politics, but I obviously have other topics to talk about.
You
Obviously,
don't
I'm
talk
talking more
about politics. You talk about Trump. Trump. Why don't you go back to the whole? Can you convince me God exists? Because I think you had a better thing going with that than you do these politics things, man. Because
Yeah, that's
it's
what
all
people
your side.
Yeah, that's
No, go
what
ahead.
that's what the Trumpies say when I disagree with them. And then when I go and do the God topic, right? The people who disagree with me as it relates to that, they say I'm better with the politics. Okay, so I hear this from both sides. I'm obviously going to get dumb arguments from both sides. I'm talking more about this right now because it's near the election time. I'll go back to that right after the election.
Well, what do you think about Trump cracking down on spam calls and robocalls? That was a good thing. I don't get many robocalls anymore. That was actually
Wow,
a good
if, you,
thing.
if you're,
He
if you're
cracked
voting
down
on that,
that.
I'm sorry, you need to get a grip. Diane,
No, I'm voting
Diane,
on-
thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Can we get a W, Diane, in the comment section? Yo, thank you so much, Diane. Fucking crazy
Diane.
W's in the chat for Diane. Thank you so much. W, Diane,
Wow.
W, Diane. I appreciate it, Diane.
That's crazy that people actually send their hard-earned money when to people like you, man. That's crazy. That's
Why? Because I
don't know.
disagree with you, and because I inspire open debates and conversations that allow for us to.
Well, I mean,
progress as a
open
society.
debates are always. It's always going to be disagreeing. Like
That's the point
no
of a
one's
debate.
ever going.
How do you compromise?
Yeah, but-
how do you move forward? How do you progress in a society without having conversations, debating them, and seeing what ideas are best? Like that's just
You
such an
can't move
incoherent thing
forward.
for you to like reject debates. How,
No,
how do
you
we, how do
can't
we
move
form
forward.
every fucking belief in society? Through having conversation
Because opinions,
and debating.
opinions, bro.
Yeah, and you debate those opinions, Sean.
The next person could come on here and say, "I absolutely freaking hate Donald Trump, but I'm going to vote for him because I hate Joe Biden and the
And
state
I
of
would ask
America."
them, why
right
is
now."
Joe Biden worse than Donald Trump?
And they're going to give their personal opinions, and they're going to say, just like for me, for example,
Lawson,
when
thank you
Trump
to
was president.
$6.16. Well, then you have to give reason. If you don't have reason, well, there's just feelings over. It's just a trust me, bro.
And trust, hey, I make $80K a year, bro, and I'm struggling because of Biden's economy. Like I am
What
struggling,
Biden
bro.
policy
Like,
made you struggle?
and interest rates are high, man. Mortgage
Interest
rates,
rates,
like
so interest rates specifically, that's influenced to be at the rate it is by the Federal Reserve. You know, the chairman of the Fed was appointed by Donald Trump.
man, that's bullock, dude. The president definitely makes
No, they
an
do not
impact
control
on it,
interest rates. You
bro.
don't understand economics.
Yes, I do,
Take
bro.
a singular
That's what I
economics
work in.
course.
That's what I
Sean, no,
work
you
in.
don't. No,
Yes,
you don't.
I do.
Bull fucking
100%,
shit.
bro.
I got a degree
Yes.
in economics. You don't understand economics for shit if you don't know the fucking chairman of the Fed influences the interest rate. Get a grip.
No,
You take a single econ course.
I don't care to know the chairman of the Fed because the
You
chairman
work
of the
in
Fed.
economics. What do you do?
I'm close that right now, but I do.
Do you have a degree in econ?
Yes,
Okay, what's price elasticity of demand?
it's Donald Trump, 2024, make America great again.
Hilarious. Nice point there. Nice. Yeah. So what is market equilibrium?
Equilibrium. What? What are you
What is
talking
mar-
about, sir?
He doesn't know what equilibrium is.
I'm-
yet. He got a degree
I'm-
in economics and he works in
I'm
economics.
here.
You're
I'm
so
here to
fucking
tell you.
funny.
I'm here to tell you, Trump's
Bro
gonna
doesn't know what
win.
market equilibrium is. I can't, bro. What are you talking about?
No, I know. I know. I'm just trolling you, but I'm not gonna get into it because I don't. I'm just here to tell you, everyone in the chat, vote for Trump. You're wasting
So
your
you don't
time
understand
watching
economics.
Parker
Don't vote
and
for
sending your
Trump.
money to
Stupid.
Parker. Because at the end of the day, trust me, it's just like Biden. Biden don't give two shits about you guys. Parker don't give
And
two
Trump
shits
does.
about you
And
guys.
Trump does. I absolutely
Yes.
care about all of you.
No, you don't.
I do. Give these
so?
lives.
No, you don't. I promise you, you don't, bro.
Are you just coming on here to troll?
No, you do it for views,
Daniel,
you
thank
do
you
it
for the
for
dollar.
money because you're struggling in his economy too, and anyone can make money off TikTok. I do
Sean,
it all the time.
I've been doing this for years while I was in school. This was my hobby because I think it does good.
Yeah, you need
I've been doing this for years. I made no money for years doing this.
Bro, how come?
He just left? Okay. All right, we're going to go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. If you want to support me, Venmo, Cash App in the bio ever, and keep tapping that screen to run up to 200,000 likes. Shit,
How's it going?
You having a huge echo, man.
Heck.
I'm sorry, bro. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump, y'all. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. We were at 4.5 earlier, but we got an age restriction, so we did have to hit a restart. But do tap that screen, share the live. If you want to check out the video I just posted, I really would appreciate that, y'all. Kate, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Kate. I really appreciate that. W Kate in the comment section. Thank you so much, Kate. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 35.
For sure, you voting for Trump?
I am, yes.
Why so?
Well, the economy under Biden is terrible.
What did Biden do to cause the economy to be bad?
I mean, it was just inherently better under Trump. I mean, how can you deny that? I mean,
So you can't name a single policy that Joe Biden influenced get passed that you disagree with or that made you worse off?
no, I can't name a policy
Okay. So you know that under Trump's administration there was a pandemic. Do you blame Trump for the pandemic?
No.
Okay, but that happened under his administration. You can't deny that, right?
You'll have to go. I want you to go check out one of my videos that got 50,000 views, and see what you think about that video.
Why? I don't give a fuck.
Because
Make the argument here. Don't tell me to watch a video. Make the argument here. Do you even remember?
So Biden went on television, right, and then said that the economy he inherited was terrible. That inflation was higher under Trump when he took office.
That's not true.
Go look at it. Go look at my video.
I don't remember him saying that, but if he did say
But
that,
go
it's
look
definitely
at the
wrong.
video. Yeah, it's wrong. And
Yeah, I agree that's wrong.
Yeah. So I mean, this is
Yeah.
what the Amer- well, this is what
Trump talked about maybe putting like a cleaning solution in sheer like literal fucking blood. Okay, he said possibly that could be something that's good, or shining fucking lights.
yeah. So that
Right. That's
that-
obviously stupid.
yeah. With that, that's just common sense.
Okay. Well, yeah, of course. Same thing with inflation.
But what I don't get is that Joe Biden had classified files.
It's willful retention of the documents. So we have clear evidence indicating Trump willfully retained the documents, whereas Biden, we don't have evidence he retain the documents. Same thing with Mike Pence. That's why Mike Pence wouldn't be getting charged here.
Look up USC 181924. Look that up. Read down there where it says about classified documents that are.
It says and retention of classified documents.
Yeah, but it says at a unauthorized location. I don't think Joe Biden's home was a authorized location to have classified documents. Just
No, but it's intent to retain. It literally says with the intent to retain such documents. You quite literally didn't read the statute that you just sourced. It proved my point. One thing, two, and that's literally it says willful with the intent to retain.
Or it says or though. It says or.
And with the intent to retain.
Or materials or it says or materials. You're just reading what you want to read.
Wait, no, but it says and with the intent to retain
Or
materials at an unauthorized location
Yes.
shall be fined under this.
Yes. So there you go. That's what I'm saying. He had those unauthorized
It
materials.
says or both.
But it says or, meaning one or the other.
Yeah, so what the Her report specifically indicates is that the jury determines this and is charging and holding it up based upon the willful retention. That's the part of the clause that they specifically indicate. Okay.
If you look at with the Department of Justice, why they didn't go after him is they said that they couldn't, beyond a reasonable doubt, suggest that he
Willfully retained documents.
Yeah, but that's not up to the Department of Justice to prosecute it. That's up to a jury to decide whether.
No, they're determining. This is what the jury would likely say, right? That's all they said. So that if you didn't read her report, did you?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, well,
No, I
that'll
didn't.
probably be pretty relevant. Like at least part of it. You don't have to read the whole thing, but
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. But that statute that I'm reading, do you see where
it's just too much.
you see
Yeah.
where you could come to the conclusion about that when it says or?
Yeah, no, I understand what your point is there, but the point I'm telling you is that what they're charging based upon isn't related to that. What they're charging based upon is whether or not it hits willful retention.
Gotcha.
And then also when it says and, it would have to be the case that you have both of those things true at the same time.
Where does it say and in there? I thought I saw or in there.
It says and with the intent. So knowingly remove. Okay, so it says whoever being an officer, employee, contractor, or consultant of the United States, and by virtue of his office, employment, position, or contract, becomes possessed of documents or materials containing classified information of the United States, knowingly removes such documents or materials without authority, and with the intent to retain such documents or materials at an. Oh, so wait, it's just saying documents or materials. We read that wrong. So it's not saying like you have to have both these things. It's just saying documents or materials.
Right.
So you misunderstood. So it's still willful retention that it's referencing.
But so let's get back past
So wait. So yeah, we just read it wrong there. Did you understand that?
Yeah, I gotcha. So what?
Okay. So it's about willful retention.
Yeah. So let's get past the part. If we're bringing the legality out of it, do you think that's still something that is right? Like he should have had those documents out in a box in his.
Whether or not we consider it right is secondary.
Well, I mean,
no, I don't think that they should have done that. But does this happen commonly? Yeah.
Oh,
And this is also applicable to like Mike Pence and plenty of other people in Congress. It's something people typically might do.
So you're saying that other politicians put classified documents in a box in their home and just kind of left it there so anybody could
Yeah, like
potentially access it.
yeah, they had it and they were engaging with it, and then they might have not remembered. Appreciate the roses, thank you, Elise. So that's why it says willful retention. Appreciate the nighttime. Thank you. We literally have Trump on video. On audio recording, specifically telling people to move the documents insofar as that it isn't seen by the security cameras. Appreciate the kitty bags. Thank you.
Do you have a video of that?
Yeah, we have the audio.
Okay, that's cool.
Yo, Nala, thank you so much for the glowing jellyfish. Thank you so much. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, one big thing for me too, and I kind of talked about this with Harry, is Roe v. Wade. I'm pro-life, and Biden is pro-choice. I mean,
Okay.
I think.
Okay, so why are you pro-life?
I think that it's a human life. I don't think that a woman should have the right to decide whether, that's a child, that's somebody who's going to grow and become a productive adult in society, and they're still a human. And
So should it be wrong for me to pull out?
Is it what?
Is it wrong for me to pull out?
Come on, man. You can't make that argument.
But there's a future
Come on.
person there.
No, there's no. I mean, your sperm without fertilizing an egg. Come on, that's a bad argument.
Okay, so once it's conception, then you care about it. So it's not potential.
Right.
If it's just conception that you care about, do you think women who have IUDs are murderers?
No, I think that's
But not only can IUDs prevent fertilization, but they can also prevent implantation, which means that they prevent a fertilized egg at conception from implanting into the uterine wall, which ends a human cellular life at conception. So you would, under your own view, based upon conceived cells, believing that they're human beings and people, a conceived fucking singular cell, right? You would believe that's murder.
Yes, I would.
So should women who have IUDs go to prison?
No, I don't think they should go to prison.
So murderers shouldn't go to prison?
I mean, yeah, they should, but that's in a different.
Okay, so women who have IUDs should go to prison, and men who know that their partners have IUDs should also go to prison for aiding and abetting.
You're twisting it, man. Come
I'm
on.
not twisting anything. That's your view, man.
spinning.
What can I say, bro?
But I mean, I'm not with Republicans as far as one thing I can like disagree with Republicans about is just banning abortion altogether. I think that there has to be.
Respectfully, do you want to answer? Wait, so you don't think all murderers should go to prison?
No, I think they should.
Okay, so then women who have IUDs, if you think they're murderers, they should go to prison. That's your view, not mine.
That's not my view.
Yeah, because you don't think they're people. You don't think single cell organisms are people. Neither do I.
I mean, until the egg is fertilized, and I mean, when do you consider it to be a human life? Let me ask you this.
Conception.
Conception. Okay.
I don't care about human cellular life, though. I care about human sentient life.
So you're saying at conception. You're saying at conception you care about it.
No, dude, listen to what I'm saying. At conception, it's human cellular life.
Right.
I don't give a flying fuck about human cellular life. I care about human sentient life. First person subjective experience happens around most likely 18 through 26 weeks in utero.
Yeah, I get that, but also I don't think that. Wait, let me kind of backtrack here a little bit. So when I talked to Harry, he's like, "Well, it's mostly due to contraceptives failing," and it's like, no, contraceptives are 97% effective when used properly. So that's not a reason why people get pregnant is because of failed contraceptives.
And most abortions come from failed contraception.
Oh man, where are you getting this information from?
I'll pull it up for you.
All right, please.
Bring something else in the meantime because I need a second to look it up.
I'm just reading the comments.
Did you hear me?
No, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Bring up something else while I look it up.
We could talk about the borders. I mean,
Go ahead, just bring it up.
yeah. So, I mean,
I found it. So
okay.
it says about half of U.S. abortion patients report using contraception the same month they became pregnant. This is from the Guttmacher Institute. It says in 2014, about 51% of abortion patients in the United States report they used contraceptive method in the month that they became pregnant.
What site are you sourcing? Where's
I
this
just told
on?
you, Guttmacher.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you. I mean, like I was starting to say, like as far as Republicans, they want to ban abortion altogether with no exceptions.
Thank you for the blooming. Thank you so much, Finn. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I think there
People, 10 years ago is not that long ago. What the fuck are y'all talking about? For statistics, like what the hell are y'all talking about? We'll go for it.
Okay. So there should be an asterisk next to that if somebody is raped or if the mother is going to not be with us anymore because there's an issue with the pregnancy, then yes, I agree that abortion would be okay.
Sorry, say that one more time.
So like, let's say, you know how Republicans want to just ban abortion altogether? Like you can't get one no matter what, right?
Yeah, certain ones.
Yeah. So
I don't think they say that, but like some do, I guess.
Well, I think a lot of them say that, you know, they want
like in all scenarios, I mean, they typically would like be okay with self-defense.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are certain situations that I agree with that it would be medically necessary for a woman if she was going to pass away because there was an issue with the pregnancy. Then I agree with that. But just because you don't want to be responsible and take care of a child, you think that's
I'm asking you why it's valuable. Like, I don't know why you're arguing against arguments that I haven't posited towards you. Why is a singular cell organism valuable? You didn't see it valuable. You didn't think that the women who have IUDs are murderers. So what point is it valuable? Because it's not human cellular life.
Well, like I said, once it starts to grow, then it starts to become a child. I mean, what is the heart?
So you say once it gets in the womb, what's the relevant difference between it being in the womb and it in just like a second or two before? Right, it's literally the same entity.
No,
That's a location difference. You're saying location difference grants it value? That's the same thing as someone saying once it's born it has value. Literally just once it's separated or moved to a different area.
I
Location's a terrible argument.
oh man. No, I think location is definitely something that has a lot to do with it. I mean, we're talking about like stages.
Because you were on that side of the room, then it's okay to kill you. Like what?
No, man, come on. So let me ask you this question. So do you think that it's okay or do you think a woman should have a choice?
Yeah.
No matter what, you think a woman should have a choice, no matter what, whether they got pregnant on accident.
Yeah, like before sentence, absolutely.
What my argument is that people don't take responsibility for their actions. This is what's wrong with America, is that there's actions and consequences. So if you sleep with somebody, that's the primary thing that could happen, is that's going to, or potentially could happen. And then you end up getting pregnant, but then you decide all of a sudden, well, sorry, this is an inconvenience. No thanks anymore.
Okay, who cares? It's before sentience. Who gives a fuck?
Oh God.
No, I should value it.
But again, people aren't taking accountability for their actions, man. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not taking accountability.
Cool. What accountability do they need to take for here?
Because
you get an abortion the first trimester. What accountability needs to be taken?
Because man. Oh man, this is always an argument with you guys.
Wow, you joined a debate platform and you're confused that there's an argument happening?
Well, I'm just saying it.
You just said that women who engage in sex, they should expect pregnancy if they engage in sex, but you didn't expect a fucking argument in a debate platform? Get a grip.
Well, what I'm saying is life happens at conception, right? So you're saying at any time that a woman, once conception happens, that they can just say, oh, well, sorry, I don't want that responsibility anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, how does that make sense to somebody? I mean,
who gives a shit? It's not valuable.
Okay, let me give you.
Why is it valuable prior to sentience? Give me a reason.
So let me throw this out to you here, okay? So let's say I'm a healthy adult, right? There's nothing wrong with me. It's my body, my choice. I go to a doctor and say, you know what? I don't want to live anymore. Can you please help me?
I have a question. Are you okay with vaccine mandates?
Am I okay with that?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not vaccinated.
No, are you okay with vaccine mandates?
No.
I thought it was what happened to like the choice?
What does that have to do with
like you're okay with bodily choice even if it leads to like death here, but not if it happens to, fetuses that are literally not fucking sentient?
Okay, let's touch base on the vaccine.
You're okay with it killing sentient people, but not fucking fetuses?
Dude, first they came out.
Thank you. What the
fucking
fucking
they came out and
hell is
said
this shit?
They came out and said the vaccine was like 89% effective. Then
I'm not just talking about one vaccine.
Okay, but I'm talking.
The ones we have in public schools.
Right.
Should polio be mandated?
Well, polio has been eradicated. I mean, that's
why.
Because we've had vaccines.
Oh, so should it be mandated like it has been in public schools?
If you're specifically referencing the COVID vaccine, I know you're talking about vaccines.
Dude, I asked you about the polio vaccine. Holy fuck.
Yeah, every child
that should be mandated.
Listen, every child that goes to school has to have vaccinations in order to go to school. They have to have it. They can't. It's not a choice. You can't just say, "Well, I don't want to do it." You can't go to school if.
You're okay with that?
I mean,
struggling with this one, it seems. Because you're actually literally killing people with this. You're not killing people with a fucking abortion prior to sentience. You're not killing a person.
You're using the correlation that says that if somebody doesn't get the vaccine, they're guaranteed 100% to die. That's pretty much.
That's not what I just said.
Yeah, it pretty much
said that if people don't get mandated to get a vaccination, if we're talking about polio, for example, right, it is the case that more people will die.
Well, I don't even know why we're fixated on polio, because that hasn't been around for, I don't know how.
It's making a comeback because of the anti-vax movement.
Where is this at? Where's polio coming back at?
Pull up polio outbreaks, U.S. recent. Okay, I got you. Here's something from the NIH: a rebirth of crippling illness, polio. That's the title.
Is this in the United States or in a different?
Yes. CNBC has polio silently spread in New York. Plenty of things.
I haven't seen that, or that came back.
Okay, what's your point?
Well, my point is you kind of pivoted away of where I was going before you started talking about vaccines.
No, what you just care about is you only care about accountability for women and not for like anti-vaxxers. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, it just seems a little bit hypocritical to me.
Oh man. Come on, you're twisting what I'm saying now.
No, that's what it seems to be here, right?
But
What's the relevant difference?
Let me get back to the point, if I can, that I was trying to make before you pivoted away to something else.
Oh, come on.
You did. You pivoted away to a vaccine as I was trying to explain something. So
No, it's not a pivot. I was acknowledging and showing you that given your own reasoning,
but
it shows your view is absurd.
we're on a separate topic there, but let me go back to what I was saying before about comparing this to abortion. So, as a healthy adult with nothing wrong with me, I don't have a terminal illness, there's nothing wrong with me. If I go to a doctor and say, and it's my body, right, my choice, if I go to a doctor and say to a doctor, I don't want to be here anymore, do I have the choice to do that? Is that legal to do that?
Say you don't want to be in a doctor's office?
No, I'm saying I don't want to be in this world anymore. I want to unalive myself. It's my body, my choice, right? So I should be able to go to a doctor and tell a doctor.
By the way, I never said that my body, my choice is something I apply in all circumstances. Was that an argument that I've made on this live? Think of the
But I think that's inherently a huge argument that people make, is that it's my body, my choice. I think that's.
Do I give a fuck?
Then
respectfully, if I didn't make the argument, why are you pausing it against me?
But see, I bring.
Do you believe the election was stolen?
Do I think the election was stolen? Well, no, I actually don't. I don't.
So if I just argued against like people who believe the election was stolen right now and like portrayed it as like being against you, right? Would that make sense to do right now?
Well, I don't believe that nonsense, because I mean,
holy fuck, you didn't listen. Listen for 1 second, please. Right? If I were to argue against that right now, as if you did believe that, would that make sense to argue right now? No, because you don't believe it. Okay? If I didn't make that argument, why would it make sense to argue that against me?
But again, you're trying to pivot away from the fact that I'm actually using something that in comparison to my body, my choice. And then you guys want to pivot away and say, oh, well, that's not what I
never made that argument. Not once.
You've made that argument before on here.
When? Name one time.
I watch your lives all the time. You and Harry make that point all the time.
I love you. Thank you.
There's a lot of people.
No, I don't. Everyone knows on my live that I've been arguing sentience for like years at this point. Okay? What are you talking about?
I had this same debate with Harry like probably a week ago, where
Harry holds different views than I do. I don't know what Harry's view is. I don't even know what his view on abortion is.
Yeah, well, that's his.
I just know he's pro-choice. That's it.
What would you say?
He probably holds to bodily autonomy, but I don't.
So let's not have. Let's say you have a different opinion than what I have. Most of the people in this live here, or all the people that are pro-life, always make the argument, and especially all the women, of course, say it's my body, my choice. But I'm giving you a situation.
King, I have a question. Who are you debating against right now?
I'm debating against you.
Wow, intelligible points here. Really intelligible points. You're going to debate against people who are not me when you're debating me? That's very intelligible.
I mean, it's 99% of the people that support you in here, so.
Not even, bro. What are you talking about? I could pull the chat right now and I can ask them, are you pro-sentience or do you run pro-bodily autonomy for pro-choice?
Oh, please do that.
Appreciate the roses. Thank you.
Please do
I mean,
that.
I don't see a benefit to it, but I'll do it. All right, everyone. Smiley face if only for pro-choice people. Smiley face if you are pro-sentience, and then crying face if you are pro-bodily autonomy. If you're pro-choice, everyone. Smiley face if you are pro-sentience, and then pro-bodily autonomy is crying face, everyone. You have to click it right here, everyone. You have to click it right below the chat. Look at that. More people are pro-sentience. right now?
Of course, because they're your supporters. Of course, I mean
You
they're
just
gonna
said you just
buy it.
said 99% of the people in here support the bodily autonomy argument.
Yes, but because you're saying that the people are biased in this live, they're biased. They're going to agree with what you have to say.
So you're telling me that they don't. Okay, so if they agree with what I have to say, why are you making an argument that's not relative to what I argued? Do you realize how stupid of what you're saying is right now? Like you're actually like just being silly.
Yeah, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, it's just incoherent.
All right, man. Well, I want you to, like I said when I first came in, I want you to check that video out.
I'm not watching your video.
You should though.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay. If you don't want to watch the video of Biden making a mistake, please.
This isn't an advertisement. No, not gonna lie.
I'm not advertising you.
Then make the argument.
This is relevant to what Joe Biden said. He looks like an idiot. People are.
I already responded to this, King.
Well,
I literally already responded to this. I can give you a video of Trump saying maybe we should put like UV rays in our blood and let's see if it gets rid of COVID. The cleaning solution, let's put it in there. Disinfectant, let's do it right now.
Yeah,
we'll see if that works.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, okay, so you making this argument specifically against Joe Biden off of just something dumb he said one time? I can make this point to Donald Trump like 10 million times.
No, he said it multiple times. He always said, I inherited a bad economy and inflation was.
I have not heard him say inflation was higher under Trump's administration comparative to his administration more than once. I've never heard him say that.
I could probably pull up 2 or 3 videos of where he said that. He's made that statement.
All right, do it.
Well, if I pull up the video, I think it's gonna. I don't have another device, so I can't do that. But
you don't have a second device. You don't have a computer.
My work computer.
Where's the gen gun? Thank you. Okay, search it up.
Well, I'm not gonna pull it up on my work computer, but
why not?
Because my work computer. I mean,
you can't go on Google on your work computer. Come on, bro.
No, the kind of work that I do is very sensitive. I can't look up stuff on the internet.
Bullshit.
Okay. What I do for work is very sensitive. I can't just start Googling stuff on there. But I challenge you to go.
What do you mean you can't start Googling on a computer? Like, this is just so stupid. If you don't want the history there, go incognito.
I mean, I'm just saying what I do for work is secure. There's a lot of security to it. I can't just start using it for like Googling or looking up different things. But if I had another device, I would show you where he said it multiple times, and the people are tired of Joe Biden making blatant lies like that, man. People don't. A lot of Americans, even like myself.
Well, you believe the election wasn't stolen. You're not tired of Trump lying about the election? You're not tired of Trump lying about sexually abusing someone? You're not tired of Trump lying about all of those things?
I mean, there's a lot of things I don't agree with him on. But
okay, I can't vote. Like, I don't know what your argument is against Biden if these things are also applicable to Trump, if not worse.
I can't vote for a guy who is, like, not with us, like shaking his hand in the air and like wandering around and like
that was proven false. So that's him shaking the hand. Yeah, give me a real fucking video that indicates that. 1, 2, 2. Hold up there. Yeah, 2. As it relates to him, again, I can find plenty of clips where Donald Trump seems completely out of it. And actually, most of the clips I hear people bring up specifically about Joe Biden, it actually relates to his stutter. Right. And people say, oh, I've looked back specifically at his clips before in the past, and it didn't show the same sort of thing. As someone ages, it becomes harder for them to deal with their stutter. I have friends who have stutters, incredibly intellectual people, totally coherent. Right. And people all the time mistake their stutter for like a lack of intelligence or that they're incoherent. They don't know what they're talking about, when that's not true at all. Complete bullshit.
But it's, if you watch him, he actually loses his train of thought. It's not just a stutter. He'll like
no. It's give me a clip then.
Yeah, I have a video.
And wait, and also you know that there are times where I lose my train of thought, right?
Well,
and I'm coherent.
Everybody does, but I see a lot of
Okay, so then give me the clips.
I mean, I lose my train of thought too sometimes. It's normal. It happens. But what I'm saying is with Joe Biden, he just doesn't. He starts going off. It doesn't make any sense. He's just like gibberish. Like
I can okay, well I can bring up stuff that's gibberish with Donald Trump.
I mean, you can, but I think
Sharks, electricity.
I think Trump is speaks a lot better than Joe Biden does, to be honest with you. But
Okay, well, I mean, if someone has a stutter, that's not an argument against them.
okay, let me ask you this question: do you think someone's cognitive ability declines as they age?
Yeah, typically.
Yeah,
That's
'Cause, I
true for
mean,
both Trump and Biden. You understand that
it
they're
is,
both
it
old.
is. Yeah, it is.
They're
I
within
think-
3 to 4 years of each
well,
other.
I think biologically it happens to everybody.
Yeah, the cognitive difference
decline.
between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, based upon age, is not significant.
I also wanted to bring up
Susan, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you
oh.
so much, Susan. I really appreciate that. W Susan in the comment section. Thank you.
Hey, Parker, I wanted to also bring up that I think a lot of Americans, especially like myself, you know, I'm not huge into politics. I don't study it. I try to keep up with what's going on and everything. But a lot of Americans always vote off feelings. And that's what this election is going to be about, is people voting off their feelings. Just as I feel the economy was bad under Joe Biden, or is bad.
Okay, so if you're just voting off feelings, that's not a good reason.
But I'm saying, do you not think that majority, even the people that come up in here that are MAGA supporters, are going to vote based off feelings? And that's, I would say, a majority of the public is going to vote with feelings.
What's the point?
I don't think that Biden has a chance, to be honest with you. I think he's going to lose terribly.
I'm asking for why you are voting for him, not whether or not Trump or Biden are going to win the election.
Well, like I said, the thing for me is Roe v. Wade.
You mean like overturning that and restricting tens of millions of women's access to abortion, making sure that there's not a federal protection for rape victims to getting access to abortion. So a child that's raped by their uncle, right, if they live in a state in which doesn't allow for them to get an abortion, you think that's okay?
No, it's not. I don't, like I told you.
No, so then why don't you want federal protections for rape victims?
That's what I was mentioning to you before, was the asterisk with certain situations that happen with the graping.
So the federal protections for those circumstances is Roe versus Wade.
But what I'm saying is that you're not listening to what I'm saying.
I am. Tell me what I didn't understand.
Okay, Roe v. Wade being overturned, right? Was overturned, right? We agree on that. Of course. What I'm saying is that there needs to be, the abortion should be banned, but only allowed in certain situations. Like there has to be an asterisk there that if somebody is raped, they can get an abortion.
So don't leave it up to the states.
So you're saying leave it up to the federal government then?
That's what you're arguing, it seems.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that would be Roe versus Wade. That wouldn't be overturning Roe versus Wade and leaving it back up to the states. Nothing? Pushing hanging lights, thank you.
No, I appreciate the time. I think that I think you're an awesome young man, to be honest. Like, I'm glad, even though we have differences of opinion, I think you and Harry are inherently good people. That makes me
Before you
believe.
go, I do have Amber. Amber wanted to ask you a few things, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to, if you're getting off the topic of abortion, I was going to ask some questions about that stance.
Go ahead.
So you said that you think there should be protections for rape victims, correct?
Yes, 100%.
How does somebody gain access to abortion if they are raped?
Well, we have law enforcement that do investigations all the time. I think the standards should be low, like as far as if somebody comes and has even a ounce of proof that they were raped, then I think they should be granted access to have an abortion. I don't think the standard should be so high that
How long does a rape investigation typically take?
I don't know I don't know the statistics on that.
Longer than a pregnancy.
So you're telling me that it takes not more than 9 months for a grape investigation to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's why I'm saying the threshold could be a lot lower. If somebody comes and even has like an inkling of suspected raping, then they should be able to get the abortion that they need.
So they just say that they were raped then?
I mean, there has to be some evidence behind that. You can't just, because everybody would just walk in and say that.
What evidence? What evidence?
Well, I mean, they have kits they can, they have test kits and everything else that they can check for this kind of stuff or talk to other people, do actually like investigations.
Right, and those investigations take years. Do you know what the backlog of testing for grape kits is in the US? Do you know how many grape kits are sitting there untested, waiting to be tested?
Doesn't that sound like we have another issue then?
Yeah, it does, but we're talking about this.
I know, but there's a correlation between those two things.
Right, so how are we going to fix that? In time to save women from having to give birth to rapist babies? Because you know that since Roe v. Wade was overturned, about 60 to 80,000 women in states where there are no exceptions for rape have had to give birth to their rapists' babies. This includes children as young as 10.
Yeah, and that's something I don't agree with. I don't agree with that.
Well, that's what the result of overturning Roe v. Wade and turning it to the states is. Because in certain states, you're always going to have those conservative states that are going to ban it, and with no exceptions.
Well, I'm in Florida, so.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's not going to change anytime soon, nor will it change in the other states where, like I said, 60 to 80,000 women and children have been forced to give birth.
And they definitely shouldn't. I think in that situation, I wish there was a way that we could have both of those things, but a lot of people that are pro-choice just want to hard and fast and just say, oh yeah, abortion should be legal no matter what. That's okay.
Yeah, it should.
You saying that there's some people who are pro-choice that you disagree with is not an argument against all pro-choice positions.
No, I'm saying there's exceptions to it.
So the reality is there is no way to write rape exceptions into legislation effectively. It's not possible because even 60% of rape victims don't report to police, right?
And I think that's another problem that we have. I mean,
So therefore there wouldn't be a rape kit to begin with. But even those who do report, those rape kits, when they actually go to trial within like 1 to 3 years usually, those perpetrators are still not found guilty. Only 70, did you know that only 70 out of every 1,000 rape cases that go to trial with evidence result in a prison sentence?
Yeah, which is crazy. And I think that speaks, we don't have the justice system that we should have. That's too long.
And voting for people like that probably doesn't help.
So, like, you're pointing out all these other issues we have. I agree we have all those other issues. But what are we going to do about this now? Because you're advocating for basically upending and changing our entire justice system, which will take... Yeah, well, that's going to take decades. What's going to happen to these 60,000 women a year between now and then?
I mean, yeah, I see it. You make a valid point. I'm not I know things can't change overnight. Things aren't going to change overnight. It takes time, but I mean, it still doesn't change my stance or view on it. I mean,
so your stance has created a situation where, like I said, 60 to 80,000 children and women have been forced to endure pregnancy and childbirth.
Which is absolutely horrible. That's absolutely horrible.
If that's so horrible to you, then you shouldn't be supporting these policies, because that's what Roe v. Wade protected. That's what Roe v. Wade protected. It also protected sentience. You weren't allowed to have an abortion after sentience. It had all these protections.
But let me ask you this question. So, but again, you're still in the position of, even if we forget about all that, you're still in the position, and I think most women have this stance that it's their body, their choice, no matter what. Even if they weren't raped, they still
Yes.
can make a decision. Why is that? Maybe tell me from a woman's perspective why you feel that way.
Because no one has the right to use my organs against my consent.
Do you know how crazy that sounds? That sounds
Have you ever
so
been
crazy.
have you ever been pregnant?
No, of course not. I'm a male.
Well, I've been
It's
pregnant 4
impossible
times.
for me to become pregnant.
Yeah. Well, I've been pregnant and given birth 4 times. One of them nearly unalived me. Do you know when the most dangerous time for pregnant women is in pregnancy?
I believe the first trimester, actually.
Not even close. No. It's during childbirth. Uterine rupture, placental embolism, hemorrhage. Like childbirth is the most dangerous time, and there's no way to predict that in early pregnancy in time to say, oh, we foresee that you're going to have these issues during childbirth, so you can have an abortion in the first 12 weeks or whatever, because there's no way to predict something like that happens during childbirth. It happens in perfectly healthy pregnancies all the time.
Right. I mean, it does, but I think if you look at the statistics, I mean, that doesn't happen. Like, inherently, people have normal pregnancies more often than not than women who have complications for that. So your argument is invalid at that point.
No, it's not, because no one should be forced to take on those risks against their will.
Well, then if you're using that example, then no one should be taking the risk of sleeping with somebody else. I mean, because that's what biologically happens. Somebody gets pregnant.
Consent to sex is not consent to pregnancy. How often, if you say somebody has intercourse every single day for 365 days with no protection, what is the chance of them becoming pregnant?
It's pretty high.
5%.
Well, I mean, I understand it. I have children, so I understand that there's a time, like there's a window, a period of time that it can only happen. Like, I get that.
Even during that time, it's only 5%. And also, you were saying something earlier about birth control. Parker is correct. 52% of abortions are due to failed contraception. I got pregnant with an IUD at 40. It happens every day. So people are taking precautions more often than not.
Well, then explain this then. How can companies make claims and back up claims that contraceptives are 97% effective when used properly?
Because they are.
Because most people use
You know
them.
how many?
So most people use them. So most Americans are idiots.
Let's do some math. Do you know what an IUD is? You can't do an IUD.
Uterine
Wait,
device.
can I clarify something real quick, King? So most people use them, and because most people are using them, most people who will then have abortions would then be people who have contraceptives, right? Have used contraceptives.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
it's nonsensical
Right, I
to
get
say, well, if they're 97% effective, then how are all these women getting pregnant? Well, there's 380 million people in this country. Let's just say half of them are adults having intercourse on a regular basis. Do the math. You're still going to have hundreds of thousands of pregnancies with a 97% effective rate with birth control. Yeah.
But let me ask you, so biologically, what was the reason that humans are supposed to have intercourse? What is that for? Is that just for fun, or is that for like
I don't believe that there's like, I don't believe that we have a purpose or design for that. I think that it's multifaceted. There's many reasons. Some people have intercourse their entire lives and never have any intention of having children.
But biologically, you're born
different.
to what? To procreate, right? I mean,
I don't think anyone is born to procreate. I think it's a choice.
It's a biological fact. It's like any living, human or any animal that lives. That's their sole being on the planet.
It's not. No, it's not. I think that what you're trying to say is that most people have the capability of reproducing, but that does not mean that that is our purpose. You'd have to tell me who created that purpose.
It's a biological fact. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
No. Biology doesn't only describes. Biology is not prescriptive. It's not saying you should do these things or that this is your purpose. It's saying this is what happens. It's just describing a process.
But okay, so let me make this point then. So why do you think that intercourse is pleasurable, or why was it designed to be pleasurable? Was it just
When you say designed, I don't believe in a
I
God.
don't believe it was designed. Who designed it?
Okay, maybe I'm using the terminology wrong. Design, maybe I should use a different word. But why is it that there's specific biological things that happen? Why is when you eat, does it taste good?
There are functions. There are functions
Yeah.
for your survival. That doesn't mean that like it's your purpose. That just means that these things happen. Like, is it your
Natural selection,
purpose?
evolution?
Yeah,
I don't know.
is it your purpose to have an appendix?
I mean, you don't have to have one. That can be,
Well, like no. My point is that like biologically, it's a fact that you have one.
I mean, yeah, it is.
So like, what's your point with that, dude? That's
But
just
you're-
descriptive. That doesn't tell me what my fucking purpose is. That's a different question. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Maybe I shouldn't use the word purpose, like in the sense of like saying this is your only purpose to be on this earth is to procreate, basically.
Yeah, I think that's a ridiculous
Do
statement.
Yeah,
you believe
that
that
is-
people, do you believe
Oh.
that people who choose not to procreate, never want to, and never do are immoral or going against their purpose?
I mean, I guess that's their choice. I mean, but they were still put here to be capable of reproducing, and that's what.
Who put them here?
Well, I'm not a religious person, so I can't say God put them here.
Right. So
because I
who
don't
put
believe in
them?
religion,
Then
so-
who put them here?
I mean, does anybody know that?
No, like I don't believe that we were put here to do anything.
your function is, and what I'm saying is your function. When you were born, okay, you have reproductive organs, and what do
Right.
you have reproductive organs for? They're not just for no reason at all.
So that you can reproduce.
Yeah, and your
if
lips,
you
so
choose
that
to.
your lips exist to be able to stop yourself from being able to say such a dumb statement as well. All right, like, oh, that's just a
I mean, I don't really
functionality.
know. To be honest, I don't really know how this even like relates
Me neither.
to the abortion topic, because whether or
we got
not
off
people
topic. Yeah, we
people's
got off topic.
bodies are designed to do something doesn't mean that we're obligated to do it against our will.
Not obligated to do it against your will. It's not an obligation. I'm just saying that.
Well, it is if you take away abortion rights.
I think that you're missing entirely the point of what I'm trying to say. And that's why I think that we're not going to agree on the abortion thing, because
All right, well, King, is
Do
there
you know what the
anything
number
else?
one cause of maternal death is?
is it what now? I'm sorry.
The number one cause of maternal death in the United States.
You're probably gonna say childbirth. I mean,
No. It's homicide by intimate partner.
really, I didn't know that, but
Yeah. So there are also women stuck in domestic violence situations where pregnancy is literally dangerous to their life. And now they've also had the option of taken away from them, which puts them in more danger.
well, again, that leads
Because
to
for some reason, there's a lot of men out there who become more violent and aggressive when their partners become pregnant.
which is
The
very
statistics prove.
that is very disturbing behavior. I don't know how
Right.
anyone.
So
can-
women should not be forced to stay in that situation. There's
No.
danger on so many levels. There's that. There's the health risks. You know that this causes like permanent disability and damage for lots of women.
Right, and then
That choice to go through with that should not be taken away from them.
again,
Nobody has permission to use my body against my will, even if my actions put them there.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I don't think that I think that there's still a choice, but in certain circumstances, then I don't think you should get the choice to do it. But
Like I said, regardless of whether or not somebody was quote unquote irresponsible, still does not mean that they lose their right to bodily autonomy, nor do they lose the right to weigh the risks of pregnancy and childbirth.
But that's another huge issue is that just with this, with Americans is like in general, it's like no accountability. Nobody wants to take self accountability for anything. They just
Yeah. So I
don't.
noticed
Like
that before I
Trump,
get
like
in.
Trump.
Like
Yeah.
I hold
That's what
myself
I was
accountable for things. If I do
Sexual
something,
abuse, defamation, fraud, 34 felonies. No accountability for him, but accountability for women.
I'm not
He
just
paid
saying
for abortions. Did you know that?
he paid for the abortion.
Yeah, he paid for abortions.
I mean, talking about personal accountability, the man cheated on his first wife or second wife with his first wife, his third wife with his second wife, a porn star with his third. Really? We're talking about personal
Yeah,
accountability
I'm
here?
not saying that. Yeah, and he's not. He might not be the most morally sound person. And honestly, I would have if I had a choice in not between Biden and Trump. It's hard. I'd rather have Ron DeSantis be our president, but
He has
he's
the same views. I don't, you know.
yeah. I mean, I'm in Florida. We love Ron DeSantis here. So
Well,
Can you
you
name
know, it's
one
interesting.
policy
This
that
is
Ron
what
DeSantis has passed that you agree with?
I don't know specific policies, but I do know that he banned like transgender studies in like schools.
And that's what he's voting for. And
Well,
they say that we're the ones that look at identity politics. We're the ones that aren't trying to engage in effective change when all they talk about is trans people. Like, it's like actually crazy, dude.
you know that they removed a bunch of like chapters and passages from a fucking math textbook and biology textbook. They removed African American studies. They banned a bunch of books about like children's
that?
hair, for God's sake. DeSantis.
Oh, you'll have to point me to that because I haven't heard about that.
You haven't heard about the book bans? I'm a librarian, so I know a lot about that.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe yeah, you probably do, but I didn't hear about specifically like black people or anything.
Oh yeah, I can give you like a list of like 50 books about African American history.
That
Or-
Ron DeSantis specifically banned from schools,
Yeah,
That was
the state of Florida banned. Yes.
but the state of Florida, but he was specifically asking me about Ron DeSantis.
Who's in charge of Florida?
Yeah, right at the moment, but there's still, I mean, there's been past governors.
I'm talking about this has happened in the last year.
Okay.
Banning books about the Holocaust, banning books about Black history, the Diary of Anne Frank,
Yeah, that's crazy.
the Underground Railroad.
I mean, those are all things that are part of American history. I don't like.
Yeah, they are. They shouldn't be banned. Censorship is bad.
Yeah, and another thing is like it kind of like getting off topic a little bit, but a lot of people like get up in arms about slaves, right? About slavery. The thing about it is our America would not be what it is today without slaves. We got free labor.
Are you advocating for slavery right now? Please don't tell me you are.
Listen, you know economics, right?
Oh God, don't advocate slavery.
No.
Yes,
Well,
I am.
no.
It inherently. What I'm trying to say is that if it wasn't for slaves, we would not be where we're at.
Are you saying slavery
We're
was
not
good?
in a good place right now, dude.
King,
We're
are
not.
you
We're
saying
not. What are you
slavery was good?
saying?
It's just a part of American history. I'm not saying slavery is something that I agree with or that people should be slaves. I'm saying that
Then why are you saying that? What prompted that? Like I don't know what prompted that at all.
because she's talking about black people and how we're taking away the history of black people in Florida. I don't
So then why'd you
Well,
bring
yeah.
that up?
because that's slaves were black. I mean, I don't.
Okay.
Right, and they're not going to allow. You know, they've
Well, I'm
changed
so confused. I just pointless.
the word. They don't want to allow the word slave to be used anymore. They're calling it. What are they calling it, Parker?
I actually don't know this.
Involuntary
Seriously?
clothing or something. No,
No,
I'm
they're,
that's it.
involuntary servitude.
I don't know. They don't want to.
We're trying to change the name of something that is part of American history, kind of like taking down the Confederate
this is your
flag.
guy, Ron
Oh my
DeSantis.
God, bro!
Yeah.
Taking down the Confederate flag is a good thing, right?
Oh my God!
It absolutely is. The reason why that's a good thing is because these are statues and things representing them in a positive light. Not just as history in a history book to learn about, but statues to be commemorated. Do you understand the difference between that?
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
Okay, well,
Yes,
we can
we
learn about
do
these things in history
nation.
without raising flags. That's like saying that, like, oh, we have to, it's good to raise a Nazi flag. Like, what? Right, well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to acknowledge it in history books. but flying the flag is wrong.
Yeah, do you think they have statues of Hitler in Germany?
Yeah, like, do you think they should keep up those statues because it's history?
That's not. You
Flag
can't even
or
compare it. You
Nazi
can't
flag,
even compare the same thing, the Confederate flag to the Nazi Germany flag. Like, come on.
Why
that's-
not?
Why not?
What?
Tell me.
What? Who flew the Confederate flag in the Civil War?
The South.
Actually,
What were they
better
fighting for?
yet, right? Where does the current Confederate flag that is constantly used created by?
Who is it created by?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
the KKK.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
All these people in here saying I'm racist. I'm not a racist. I think we should be celebrating black people because they helped us build what America is today. Go look it up. Go look that up. That's just a fact. I'm not being a racist. I'm not a racist person.
We already know that. Thanks. And we think our children should know it, which is why we don't believe they should be taking it out of books and banning books.
Yes.
About it. Yeah. That's what your boy DeSantis is doing.
Yeah,
Congrats.
well, if that's the case, then that's something I don't. I mean, I'm not going to agree on every single thing that a Republican does. I don't. I'm sure you don't agree everything that the Democrat Party does.
You were toting him as a good person.
I mean, I think he is.
Okay, well, I don't think this is going anywhere. Amber, do you have anything else you want to bring up with him?
I don't think that we're going to get anywhere, unfortunately.
No, no. It's just we just have a difference of opinion. But anyways, Parker, like I said, I wanted to just say, I think you're an intelligent young man. I wish there was a lot more younger people like you in the world, and just keep up what you're doing. And same with Harry. I think you guys are intelligent. So appreciate you having me on, though.
For sure, appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks.
All right.
I'll let you go, Parker.
I appreciate it, Amber. Thank you so much for coming up. Appreciate you. All right, everyone, let's get on to the next person. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App in the bio. Also, tap that screen. Let's run up to 500,000 likes, everyone. Share live as well. Everyone, what's up? How old are you?
How's it
How old
going?
are you? How old are you?
I am 46.
And are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
Why so?
Because I was better 4 years ago than I am today.
Okay. That was, you mean during COVID?
Yeah,
Like a
because
global pandemic?
my business didn't lose during COVID.
Okay, so I have a question. Would you vote for Hitler if he made you better off?
Yes. But it's not an option.
Do you know what Hitler did?
Yeah, definitely.
And then you'd still vote for him?
Well, he's not an option, so that's something you're saying.
I have a
that
question.
relevant.
Do you have a
It's not
significant other?
relevant.
Do you have a significant other?
No.
No, you don't. Do you have a mother?
Yes.
Would you vote for someone who sexually assaulted your mother if it didn't negatively impact
Oh,
your
definitely
business?
would not. No.
Okay, so you would vote for Hitler.
Let's just take it twisted. I say like you could make for a better life.
If it benefit you, would you vote for a person that sexually assaulted your mother?
But that's not something that would happen.
Would you? Yes or no?
If it benefited my day-to-day life and my structure and my living, yeah, I guess so.
Your own mother.
Yeah, she's dead. So yeah.
What about your kids in the future? If you're gonna have kids.
That's not gonna happen though.
No, if it did. If they assaulted your children, sexually
Yeah, that
assaulted
seems
your
like
children.
you're twisting something to make it to where it makes
No,
sense.
I'm just trying to identify if there's a bad enough individual out there that you wouldn't vote for, given the fact that they still benefit you.
If it benefits my day-to-day life, yes.
You'd vote for anyone.
Because Biden has done nothing but
So
cost me money,
if someone graped
just like others.
So if someone graped and killed your whole family, right? You would still vote for them if they benefit you.
My day-to-day life, yes.
If someone
something makes it better for
well, I have a
us, why
question.
wouldn't you?
I have a question. Would you vote for a school unaliver if they benefit you? Like a person
School
that
unaliver?
killed like 50 kids.
But that's never happened.
Would you vote for
You're
them if they
talking.
benefit
You're
you?
talking bullshit to
I'm
make
asking
it
if-
seem like I'm a bad person, but
You are a bad
Yeah.
person. Respectfully,
I am definitely.
you're a terrible fucking person. You said you
definitely,
would
I
vote-
agree. Just like you.
You
and
said
the
you
other
would
people who
vote
all
for
look in
Hitler.
like
You said
him. Yeah.
You literally said you would vote for Hitler if it benefit you.
But Hitler's not an example. So you're taking everything and twisting it like
You understand that if you existed in Nazi Germany, if you were literally Aryan, you would justify yourself voting for Hitler. You know that, right?
no, Hitler had a
You would
problem.
also
with
you would also justify voting for slavery, right? Because slavery would benefit you, right, at the expense of other people. So would you vote for someone that advocated slavery?
No, that's ridiculous.
Oh, so it's ridiculous then, but it's not ridiculous with literal mass genocide and enslavement of people through concentration camps?
Where's that been happening?
That happened in Germany, in Poland, right? In plenty of places in Europe during the 1930s and 40s.
1930s and 40s. Were you alive then?
No.
So
I
you're
was not
talking
alive
shit
then.
that you know nothing about.
I do know about it.
From what? From history,
History.
you've been taught by the government that you're still sucking dick for and have nothing
No,
to do with it.
it's the entire international community of historians, right? Not the government.
So
Do you
why
not
aren't
believe
these
history? Do you not believe
historians
history occurred?
leading us in our
Do you believe
goals?
history occurred?
Of course it did.
So then what are you fucking questioning here?
I don't see why you have a question about the truth.
What? Do you care that Trump has been held legally responsible for sexual abuse?
Yeah, I guess not, but maybe I understand your point.
You don't care about it?
No, I don't.
Yeah, and you don't know why I call you a shitty person? Do you care about the fact
But
that
do
he
you
said he
not
would
think
date?
that
Do you care about the fact that he said he would date his daughter?
You think Biden's been a
do you care about the
part of
fact
the government for 60 years and can't do
Oh,
shit?
my- he's not been a part of the government for 60 years.
Roughly, yes.
No, not even close, genius.
54. Fuck you. But
No.
yeah. Yes, he has. He's been a senator.
No, not for 54 years.
Yeah, he has.
No, he hasn't. Not
Yeah.
a senator, no.
He's had a role in the government. But
Having a
guess
role
what?
in the
He's
government
rich.
and being a senator are
He's
two
rich.
different
Are
things.
you? He's rich. Are you?
Depends on what your definition. Probably not.
Well, he's multimillionaire.
Definitely not there. What's your point?
He definitely is. So
I
why?
said I'm not.
Why? Yeah, no, no, I agree with you. You're totally not. Or maybe you are. Who knows? But I'm just saying. Like, he is. Why did he get that way? All
Books.
of the government right now
Books.
is
It's called
corrupt.
he
It's
sold
bullshit.
books. So all the government's corrupt. So why do you want to vote in Trump if he's corrupt?
Oh, I don't want to, but there's not a better option.
So give me the relevant difference between Trump and Biden insofar as that Trump is better?
Because 4 years ago, I was more successful, and now I'm broke.
Can you give me a policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class? And based
No.
upon your own policy, you could just tell yourself to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
No, I don't say that. I really don't believe that.
Okay, so then what? Can you name me one policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class?
No.
So what did Trump do that can you name one thing that he passed
What did
that you
Biden
agree
do?
with?
Ever. Period.
The infrastructure bill, the 35
What did he ever do?
The infrastructure bill, the $35 cap on insulin, which is in the Inflation Reduction Act,
Oh, I'm
specifically the
insulin
Chips and
diabetic,
Science
so
Act.
Fuck off. Because Trump had that before that. It only cost me $17 before Trump lost the election. Now it's 35. So fuck you. You're a dumbass who doesn't know the difference.
No, the $35 cap on insulin was supported by both people. I was just mentioning something that was
Only
good.
paid 17,
Trump
just
also
saying.
supported and it was not a $17 cap under Trump's
Yes,
administration.
that's what I paid.
You want to bet it was $17 cap?
No, I paid $17 and that got eliminated. So now I got to pay more.
No, it's both of them were a $35 cap. You know that, right?
No.
And it was
Telling you
just
what I
expanded.
paid. I'm telling you, like
terms
real
of
life.
eligibility
You
under
talk,
Biden.
you talk numbers, you talk bullshit, but I'm talking about real life. What I dealt with and what I did.
Yeah, so the statistics fucking demonstrate real life, genius.
No, they don't.
What the fuck do you think statistics are?
It's numbers
Numbers of what?
of what people think and do, but it's not real life.
Okay, so how do you determine real life?
What we deal with.
What do you mean what
So
we deal
wait,
with? How do
so
you know
wait.
what we're dealing with
Hey,
without
what did you
statistics
pay
and
for
without
rent
data?
4 years ago? What are you paying for rent right now?
The same.
The same.
Yes.
Where do you live at?
LA.
What state? What state? I'm not asking that, but yeah, what state?
California.
How much is your rent right now?
I'm not gonna tell you, but it stayed the same.
Gotcha.
What do you mean?
I'm just
Rent,
saying.
there's something called a rent control. Do you know what rent control is?
Yeah, so
Oh,
might as well be able
you
to.
just got a violation. I gotta go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
20, bro.
For sure. Are you voting for Trump?
Actually, I'm going to be out of the country in November, so I did early voting.
So you already voted for Trump?
Of course.
Okay, well, there's no point to talk to you then.
Peace, bro.
All right, only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. Let's get this next person up here, y'all. Again, everyone, only send a guest request if you do disagree, y'all. Also, if you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App in the bio, everyone. Kathy, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Kathy. I will try to feel better. It's still unfortunate. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Excuse me. How old are you? Okay. All right, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024. Y'all keep tapping that screen. Keep sharing the live, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
21. Trump's gonna win. America, you can stick it with your fucking dirty little cunt of an arse.
You don't even live in the U.S. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will be voting for Trump in 2024, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
29.
Are you voting for Trump?
Of course.
Why so?
Say again now.
Why so?
You said, what's that?
I said, why so?
Oh, white so. Well, like the other guy was saying, my life was a little bit better. Everything wasn't high. I mean, now you go inside of a gas station, you can't get a bag of chips for a nice price.
Can you name one Biden policy that caused inflation?
Say what now?
Can you name one Biden policy that he influenced to get passed that caused inflation?
I mean, you got a whole lot of immigrants coming in, and next thing you know, inflation just rised up.
Immigration does not cause inflation.
I didn't say it caused it, but if something has to.
What Biden policy caused inflation?
I didn't say a policy did. You asked me a question about a policy.
If you don't know a single policy that caused inflation, well, then why do you attribute it to Biden?
Well, another thing, I'm not going to vote for someone that pushes homosexuality on children.
When did Biden do that?
I mean, when Trump was in, he said he wasn't going to let it go, and it never went. Soon Biden get in, here you see a whole lot of homosexual.
How is it being pushed on children, and how did Biden do this?
That's how he got his vote. Just like when Obama passed it. That's how he got the vote.
I'm sorry. Are you being real, bro? Like,
yeah, I'm being real, bro.
Jenna, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much. You're not giving me anything that he did.
So, basically, what you're saying, if Biden had nothing to do with it, it still would have been here no matter what.
Yeah, and there's global inflation.
Well, I'm talking about the homosexuality and forcing on the children.
Oh, it's not being forced on children.
Yes, it is.
How so?
Okay, so you're gonna play dumb here. You're not gonna. So you don't think that pornography is not in the children's books in the library? It's not.
How is that related to being GAY? Thank you for the fast and thank you for the roses. Thank you.
Okay, when I was a kid, I said I want to be a police officer and a firefighter, and I want to identify as that. But if you put something homosexual,
can you tell me what being GAY is? Thank you for the hand art.
thinking you something that you're not?
No.
Yes.
No. So being GAY
I'm a man.
is having same gender attraction.
Yes.
Same gender sexual attraction. That's nothing to do with identity.
Yes.
That's sexuality.
Yeah, and it's
sexuality is a part of identity, right? But it's not your identity.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the whole agenda of homosexuals are getting pushed, and
Who created this agenda?
Liberals.
What liberals?
Liberals like the ones in Seattle, Portland.
Name a liberal that did this.
Barack Obama.
God, Barack Obama's not in Seattle. And also, how did Barack Obama do this?
Didn't he set thing for gay people can get married?
You got to say GAY. Is that a bad thing? That's not pushing on children. That's saying that
it is a bad
that's
thing.
saying GAY people can get married.
It is a bad thing. It doesn't matter.
Why is it wrong for GAY people? Why is it wrong for GAY people to get married?
Because it's sick and it's unclean. And
How is being GAY unclean?
Because you can't reproduce. It's only something bad.
I have a question. A woman
only
with another
something bad is going to happen.
Do you think a woman with another woman is unclean?
It's very unclean. It's sick.
Okay, so then why do you engage with women if you think that it's gross?
Because I'm a man. Okay, just like how you got here.
Can you understand why a woman would want to? Wait, baby
how
flex.
Did you get here?
Baby flex. Thank you for your sweet baby flex. Why don't you understand that it is the case that, right? If you can understand, you want to be with women, so other women could want to be with women. That makes sense to you, right?
No, it don't.
How does that not make sense?
Because the same way you got here, it wasn't two men, it wasn't two women. How did you get here?
I got here from my mom and my dad.
Of course. So if your mom wanted to be with another woman, would you be here today?
If my mom and my dad had sex 10 seconds later, I wouldn't be here. If my mom didn't have a miscarriage, I wouldn't be here. If my parents didn't get married, I wouldn't be here. If my dad stayed with his ex-wife, I wouldn't be here.
No.
What the hell are you talking about?
Your mom
Mr. Jones, you can send a guest request back. I didn't accept it.
If your mom wants to be with another woman before you got here, would you be here? If that's all she ever wanted was women in her whole life, would you be here?
No, I wouldn't be here.
Okay, let me ask you this: if all men want to be with all men,
Baby flex, did you hear me at all?
Listen.
No, I want you to listen because I just told you something and you didn't listen to it.
Okay, go ahead.
If my mom and my dad didn't get married, I wouldn't be here. If my dad stayed with his ex-wife, I would not be here. Those things are not wrong just because it is the case that it wouldn't lead to me existing.
Okay, look, I get that you want to be here, but so if all men want to be with all men and all women want to be with all women, will there be any people on this earth?
Yes.
Come on, dude. So how they gonna reproduce?
How would men be with men if there's no people? How would women be with women if there's no people?
No.
And do you know what IVF is? In vitro fertilization.
Dude, you can stop the new.
Not only are not all people going to be GAY or lesbian, but it is the case that there's IVF in vitro fertilization. And you're just like literally not using your brain.
I think I am using my brain. I mean, to be GAY, it's a mental illness.
Can you give me any evidence that indicates that, or any DSM source that indicates that? Can you also define what a mental illness is for me?
A mental illness is something that you want to think that's okay, and you know it's not okay, but you feel in your heart that it's okay for me to let someone put their.
So like Trump cheating on all of his wives, right? Is that mental illness?
No, it's not mental illness.
But that's like something he knows is wrong, and like he keeps doing it, and then he justifies his behavior.
Yeah. So screwing another man behind is okay, and if he go back,
absolutely, if it's consensual.
Oh, so you're a homosexual too, right?
No.
But you agree with it. It's okay, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely okay.
So it'll be okay if you have children and you see gay men coming to your.
You have to say GAY. But yeah, absolutely.
Well, look. I mean,
I have GAY friends. Surprising.
Well, if you have GAY friends, then you got to be a GAY man.
What kind of nonsense is that, bro?
Bro, what?
It's no way in the world I'm about to be around men that want another man up in their behind.
That's crazy. Have you been
What?
around women who want another man up in their behind?
Of course, my wife.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the? This is so weird. I just want.
I mean, no, I
you-
think
you're
you're one weird here
Why am I weird?
because
Wait, why is it okay to put it in the behind of a woman but not a man?
not in their butt. Of course, that you sick. I'm saying from.
But you said it was
What?
okay with your wife.
Yeah, it is okay with white because
Why?
it's a woman and a man, not two men or two women.
Okay, so that's just called homophobia.
You know, homophobe. I'm not scared of no one.
That's not what homophobia means.
Homophobia doesn't
Means
mean
allergic.
scared.
Doesn't mean scared.
Molly, thank you for the $1. Thank you so much. I really
Just
appreciate
really,
that.
really quickly, you are black, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, got you. So, like, if I gave you like, well, I'm not even gonna do that because I think
No,
it's
go
pointless.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm a man. I don't get in my feelings like a lot of gay black men.
What do you make?
You have to
what
say
makes you
GAY.
think
If you say it one more time, baby flex, I'm gonna have to kick you off
what
because
makes
it
you
will get
think
me
that?
banned.
Yeah, what makes you think that men who are queer, like get in their feelings? That's weird.
I
And
mean,
why do you?
because
You must know. You seem to know a lot about queer people for somebody who's not queer.
and you know why? Because
Why?
they've been pushing it on my little nieces and nephews at their schools, and I'm not gonna say
That's not true. They don't teach
that
anything
is
about
true. I'm gonna
being
tell you
queer.
how it's true because a GAY man was in the classroom shaking his behind and telling my niece he can smack it. She can smack it.
That's not true, bro.
That is
That
true.
person be in jail. So they're in jail. Can
So
you
you
tell me
think they're in
that?
jail?
And then
You
wait,
know,
also,
you
why would we generalize all GAY people based upon one person? Like, do you think it would be
It's not
justified?
based on one person.
Is it justified for someone to engage in racism because of one bad personal experience they had?
It's not about that one experience. I always ever say it was something bad or about that. And then it really happened in real life because I always say, I said, no, I don't think that's too bad. I used to say the same thing at your age. I said, you know what? I said, it's
At
not
my,
too bad. As long as
how
they're
old are
not
you?
pushing the issue on little children, I said, let them do them. That, that's their life, let them do them.
How
But
old
now
are
it's
you?
starting to get to the point where they pushing it on the children.
Sure.
And the
Nobody's
children
pushing
is
it on
out.
anybody's children.
Yes, it is. Yes, they are.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
You have yet
Yes,
to
they are.
justify that
Like
claim.
teaching people. Yeah, you would have to substantiate that. But teaching children that queer people exist is not pushing it on anybody.
It's
I
not.
mean, it's no different than.
It's not
Hold
about
on,
them.
Frank. Can you stop cutting me off, man? It's so rude. I'm not cutting you off. I let you ramble on with your nonsense. So if you'd be
Go ahead.
respectful.
Go ahead.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So like, it would be no different than telling young children, hey, and this was like in the 60s, prior to them desegregating schools, but like, hey, black people exist, and black people don't mean to harm you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So let's not treat black people poorly because they're still people. And that mean it's literally the exact same thing. But you're like, nah, we're going to, even though we are marginalized people, we're just going to stand on the necks of other marginalized communities. Because why not? Why not participate in white supremacy? Like that's exactly what you sound like right now.
Yeah, but back in the '60s, didn't they say homosexuality was a mental illness too? Though.
No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, like I was
God.
about to say earlier, you are black, right? You're a black person?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you understand that like same-sex relations has existed since the dawn of humanity, and it was something that was ritualistic in nature prior to Africans being colonized?
Yeah,
Like it's
and
something that we regularly participated in.
Ashley, thank you for the $6.68. Thank
and
you.
it's called Solomon and Gomorrah, right?
No, that's not real, bro. Nobody's talking about fairy tales.
Oh
This is
my
not real
goodness.
life. We're talking about
Oh
real
my
life. We're not talking about
goodness.
fairy
Oh my
tales.
goodness. He's talking about not real life.
Yeah, that's not real life.
Yeah, we
Well,
don't believe in fairy tales. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate the
oh,
$5. Thank
there
you.
it is. Oh, I see what is going on. So why is it everything that was in the Bible is actually going on right now when they say everything
Bro, you know
bad's
how many
going on?
times in history they've
Listen,
said that exact same thing? You know how many times
but
in history that same thing has
no,
been
no,
said?
no, no, no,
Wait,
no,
Baby
no.
Flex, I have a
Yes,
question.
yes, yes,
How
yes,
many
yes.
how many of the 10 commandments has Trump violated?
All of them.
He probably did all of them, but how many did
Every one
Biden?
of them.
How many did Biden?
Not all of them.
So that means okay, well he's the better candidate then for the United States of America.
Under your own view.
If Christianity is the measurement, then yes.
Okay, let's say okay, let's say we put Christianity out of it. So Biden's still the better person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a rapist. So yeah.
Oh
But yeah,
my.
he's not out here SAing people. So I mean, I would say, objectively so. Like, are you okay with SA?
I will pick a person that is.
Are you okay with
SA
SA?
a
Yes or
person.
no? That's a really simple question. Are you okay with
No,
SA?
because you're not gonna sit there and put me in the wrong all the way with this.
Well,
So
no, are you okay with
no,
SA? Yes or no?
listen to me. It's just like a person that went to
Are
prison
you
for.
okay with SA?
God damn, you gonna let me talk, fella?
Well, bro, because I mean, you seem to have a problem with, you know what I'm saying, like queer people, like even animals are queer, right? You seem to have a problem with queer people, but you can't definitively, and you say it's gross and disgusting, but you can't definitively say that
It is
SA is bad.
if you put, yeah, it's bad. Of course, it's bad.
Okay, so then you're not okay with it then?
No.
Okay, so then why would you vote for somebody who has been found liable for SA and
That's
has
just
been
like
accused
saying,
of it 26 separate times and has paid off multiple women?
I mean, people been doing it forever. So what's
SAing people?
yes?
Okay, so that makes it okay. Well, people have been
No,
gay
I
forever
didn't say it was
too.
okay. See,
Well,
now
people have
you
been gay
flipping
forever
it.
too.
Now you
Along
flipping
that
it. Saying,
along that logic train, people have been gay forever too.
not this,
By
not
the way,
this,
Mr. Jones, we have to say GAY
not
because
this
it's
extent.
Oh,
TikTok.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry.
Apologize. Yeah, people have been queer forever too. So if we're following that logic train, then you've already derailed.
Yeah, but not to that extent. We
No,
never
no,
saw.
to that extent. No, to
We
that
we,
extent.
we we never saw that many queer,
Yes,
what you
yes,
want to
we
call
have.
it, queer people. No,
Yes, we
not
have.
not in the schools and putting all this in the
No,
kids. But
absolutely, they
they
existed.
all
Now,
on the.
yeah,
It ain't
they
never been
existed. They were
that.
there. They were just hiding, and now they shouldn't have to hide. The same way that black people shouldn't have to, you know what I'm saying, hide. The same way that Asian people or or
When were black people
indigenous
hiding?
people, huh?
Jaden, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much.
You ever heard of
When
like
were
a
black
sun?
people hiding?
You ever heard of a sundown town? You know, like going in when it gets
Yeah,
dark.
yeah, I heard that
Yeah.
in
Okay. So
Texas,
great. So yeah.
some parts
Yeah.
of Mississippi.
So there you go. So now that I mean, they still exist, but now that it's not as prevalent, right? Then
I mean,
you can.
the thing about the sundown town, that's areas where it's predominantly white. So of course, black people won't go there. Just
Well,
like
the whole entirety of the United States is predominantly anti-black and predominantly anti-LGBTQIA+. So, I mean, you're
yeah,
not really
but
making any solid points here, my guy.
you talking about sundown town. I'm gonna tell you about sundown because I'm a black person. I already know about sundown town.
So am I.
So just like when you go to an area where it's nothing but black people at, white people not gonna go there.
That's not true.
Man, okay, you take your ass in the hood and watch what happened to you. You go through there like you tough.
Bro.
It's same thing as me as a black person. I go through a white neighborhood where there's let's say if they're racist.
Bro, I'm black.
Same thing. If
I'm in
I
my
go through
40s.
there,
I'm
if I
black.
go through there,
I'm in my
something gonna happen
40s.
to me.
Please be quiet. I'm black. I'm in my 40s. I grew up in New York and Washington, D.C. during the crack era. I'll be fine. I promise you. I'll be okay.
No, you will not.
Why won't I?
Come to Memphis, where I'm from. We're
Yeah,
real.
I've been to Memphis. I've been to Memphis multiple times.
Oh, I've been to Memphis. You haven't been to
Yeah, I've
Orange
been to
Mountain.
Memphis. I've been to
You
Chicago.
haven't been to South Memphis.
I've been to
You
Detroit.
went downtown with a pyramid where all the good, healthy people at. They got all the money. Go to the hood and watch what happened to you. Literally yesterday, 2 children just got shot for no reason.
I'm sure that's true. That doesn't mean that if I walk in a neighborhood as a black man,
You're gonna
that
get
I'm
your ass handed to you.
just cause
Just because you
around other black people.
Yes. Do you not know what I'm talking about, man? This is Memphis.
No, I do know what
Tennessee.
you're talking about. So if I'm just walking in the street, I'm just gonna be unalive. That's what's gonna happen.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Probably not. Probably not.
Oh
Like,
my
literally, crime is not as bad as you're trying to make it out to be. Like nobody's
You,
just walking
you
around
have
getting
no
unalive.
clue. I'm telling
No,
you,
I
bro.
do.
Listen,
I can look up. I can literally look up crime statistics. I can literally.
and guess what? But guess what?
Our
Crime
unalive
is
statistics.
not gonna tell you the truth. You can go on the news
Okay.
and Memphis right now. They're not gonna tell you everything. My father-in-law retired from the Memphis Police Department. Guess what he said? He said, "You know what? I'm tired of the news telling y'all all lies." He reported 10 dead. So he went to 10 dead scenes. Why they didn't put number 3 on the news? Almost every single day, it was almost a murder, and they never put it on news.
None of the family members reported that their family member was unalive. They didn't even bury him. So what happened to the bodies?
I mean, of course they're in the grave. Someone getting alive every day in Memphis, dude.
Oh, so they're burying him without alerting anybody. No death certificates, no nothing.
Yes, but it's not on the news. That's what I'm saying. You're not gonna see legit statistics on this.
What? No, you will see legit statistics because we have death certificates for people who die.
Yes, but you go on Google right now and put in Memphis, Tennessee. It's not gonna tell you the exact number. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Memphis is nothing but a small Middle Eastern town. That's how you look at it.
It's crazy how we jumped from, you know what I'm saying, queer being bad, which you couldn't substantiate, to now all of a sudden we're talking about like anybody.
I mean, you was all black, and I told you how it was with sundown towns and going to.
I don't need you to tell me. I'm also black.
Yeah, but you're a different kind of black.
What does that even mean? How am I a different kind of black?
Because I've seen black people.
Well, I'm pretty certain I've been black longer than you have.
Yeah, but you're a different kind of black.
What does that mean?
We're not all the same. I went when I lived in Seattle. Those black people are nothing like black people from the
black than you is my question.
Okay, it's just like a white person from Alabama versus a white person from Portland, Oregon. They're two totally different people. Their thinking is totally different. Their mindset is totally different.
Okay. What's different about my mindset?
Because you don't want to believe true. You're doing like most black people that I know. They want to take up for stuff that's not real.
Huh? What does that even mean?
He knows.
We're just explaining about the crime rate. He's saying, "Oh, I can just walk in a black neighborhood. It's not gonna happen to me."
Yeah, he said it's statistically
black people
improbable
say.
for something to happen to him, which is true, statistically speaking.
Say it again. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, it's statistically improbable for something to happen to me. Like just because I'm walking in Memphis or I've been to all the places. I've been in Missouri. I've been in Alabama. I've been in Chicago. Been in Detroit. I've been in New York. Been in LA. I mean, I've literally been in cities all across America, and I'm in my 40s, and I've yet to be shot for being in the hood.
Dude, you could be just a lucky man, but I'll tell you what. You come to Memphis in this time of day here, and watch what's gonna happen to you. It's just that simple.
How is it that you keep surviving?
You know why? Because I don't stay directly in Memphis. I stay 30 minutes away.
Okay. Gotcha. So you don't ever go through Memphis, not once ever.
And guess what?
How do you survive? How do you keep making it?
You want to know how I keep making it? Because I'm not a damn black fool like a lot of people that go out there and want to be tough, saying, "Oh, nothing gonna happen to me. I'm invisible," and they get their ass handed to them.
Okay. Well, I also don't consider myself a fool, and I don't think I walk around talking about some "look at me," and I also don't think that I try to be tough just for the sake of being tough. Like I don't feel like you're actually making any sense, my guy. I feel like you're just saying shit to be saying shit.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. 40-year-old black man, you come to Memphis and I want you to tell me how many experience you will have.
Wait, you don't even live in Memphis,
right?
Yeah.
So what are you saying that for?
Because we have to associate with Memphis, the part of Mississippi I stay in. We're right here where Memphis is. So you might well say we stay in Memphis. It's like a person stays.
What is the point of you saying that if you're not even from that area?
I am from the area.
I meant like now.
I mean, I'm 20 minutes down the road.
Yet
20
you keep
minutes
surviving.
is pretty far away.
Say what now?
Yet you keep surviving. Yet you
Yes,
kept
because
making it.
I kept making because I'm not sitting there standing around in the hood like I'm invisible.
So you
If
run.
you go there, say what now?
So you run through the hood.
You run through the hood. Well,
Yeah,
why
you
would
say you're not standing there. So are you running?
This dude is goddamn illiterate.
No, I can read.
You're
very
saying the
well.
issue is with Mr. Jones? Are you kidding me?
Why would I sit there and stay or stand in the hood if I know it's something going to happen?
Well, I mean, if you know something's going to happen, why are you going there at all? But again, when you do go there, nothing happens to you. It's weird. Like what it sounds like.
I didn't say I sit there and just.
They're scary.
No, a fool is someone that does something because they're not.
Wait,
scared.
Baby Flex. I have a question. What does illiterate mean?
Like somebody calls somebody fool, and then his name is Baby Flex. Is hilarious to me.
Yeah, Baby Flex. What does illiterate mean?
I mean, literally means someone is fucking stupid.
No, that's not what it means at all.
Yeah, yes, it does.
It means I can't read, and I,
Yeah,
and I,
a
and I
fucking
read
stupid.
very well.
You're stupid.
No. Because someone can't read doesn't mean they're stupid.
You on the borderline of being stupid.
Yeah, there's
Be-
very
because
intelligent
Baby
people
Flex,
that
you can
never
read
learn
and
how
you
to
are
read.
stupid. Baby Flex. So like I don't think that not being able to read is what makes you stupid. Thank you for the hand art. Thank you.
Like, bro, you're in front of like 3,500 people right now, just making yourself look like an absolute clown.
I don't give a fuck if it's a million and a half.
Clearly, because you're doing it with your whole chest.
Baby Flex,
Boy.
were you the person that said that you would vote for Hitler if he benefit you? Or is that the prior person?
No, it's up. I want to vote for Hitler for shit.
Okay, so like, do you think that you shouldn't vote for a rapist?
For what now?
Would you vote for someone that sexually abused someone you know?
No.
Okay, so would you vote for someone that sexually abused a woman?
It depends on the person that. So what's the problem they got?
That's
It depends. So you would vote for someone who sexually abused a woman?
Versus a person that they're pushing homosexuality. Yes, I would.
Okay, can you tell me like exactly what Joseph Robinette Biden has done? And mind you, like neither myself nor Parker are a fan of Joe Biden. Can you tell me how he pushed homosexuality and how being homosexual is worse than being a rapist? Can you help me? Can you draw the line for from point A to point B for me?
Because if you got homosexuals pretty much overcoming the United States, that's gonna kill the population. And if
$10, no, it doesn't. What?
we literally just talked about this.
Yeah,
No, we didn't. You didn't hear IVF. You didn't hear IVF.
Listen. We're not talking about no.
What is in vitro
all this
fertilization?
scientific shit. We're not talking about this scientific shit. We're talking about real.
You're using a phone right now.
All right.
What do you mean
That
we're
there's
not
no
talking
way
about
for you to
technology, bro?
substantiate that it would be the end.
We talking about you talking about IVF and all that. We talking about actual reproducing. A man and a woman is gonna make a child.
Do you know what our
A female-
closest? Do you know what our closest relative in the animal kingdom is? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
What?
The bonobo. Do you know the bonobos regularly engage in same-sex intercourse? Do you know that they're still around, like, and they've been around for thousands of years, like they're not going extinct or anything? So, I mean, this idea that we're just gonna
Literally
we're just
millions of
gonna
years.
cease to exist, like not everybody's gonna be gay. Let me ask you a question. When did you decide to be straight?
always been straight.
Oh, okay. So is there a way I can convince you not to be straight?
No way in hell.
Oh, okay, great. Then the same goes for every other person
Yeah.
on the
How,
face
how
of
do
this
you,
earth. You can't
how would
convince
anyone
anybody
else be pushed
gay.
to be GAY?
What's the thing? I didn't never convince no one. I didn't try to convince no one to not do it. I was just saying that it's not right to push.
You can't push queerness on somebody. Nobody's knocking on
Yes,
anybody's
you
front door and
can.
saying, "Hey, have you heard the good news about Elton John?" Nobody's doing that.
You just said that you couldn't change. You couldn't be changed. So how do you
I couldn't
expect that
be-
to
I said
happen to
this
other
person-
people?
I ain't saying this person couldn't be changed. Because when a child is 8-9 years old, their mind's not even developed. So once they see that, they think
So
it's
when
okay.
you were 8 and 9 years old, someone could have influenced you to be GAY?
Absolutely.
Oh, then you are definitely bisexual.
No.
Because even at
Because
8,
your
9
mind-
years old,
Yeah, when I was
liked-
8, 9
I
years
liked-
old, that
I
would have
liked-
never happened.
Even at 8, 9
Yo.
years old, I liked women. I mean, that's why I
Yeah,
have so many
same.
kids now.
dude. No, your mind is not full developed.
That has nothing to do with anything.
My
You know
mind
what
isn't
your
fully developed right
gender
now.
is.
My mind
You
is.
know
I'm
exactly
22.
what your gender
Oh,
is
I
by the
can
time
tell
you're
you.
5, 6 years old. You know exactly what you're interested in, not interested, not shortly after that.
Dude. So that's just like when a child's born and they speaking a
Do you
certain
have any
language.
children? Do you have any children?
Yes,
Okay.
two.
So if one of your children came to you, I have a bunch, like literally a bunch. If one of your children came to you and said they're gay, what are you gonna do? Just disown them?
No, I'm not gonna disown my own children. But what I am
Oh,
gonna
okay.
do,
So it's
what
not
I
that big
am
a
gonna
deal.
do, what I am gonna do, I'm not gonna accept the crap.
What do you mean?
Would you disown a rapist?
Of course.
Okay, so
Just
then why
not
do
if
you
they're
want to
running
vote
president.
for why do you want to vote for a rapist over someone who's apparently pushing it when they're not, by the way?
Because I believe in Jesus Christ.
Oh God, dude.
No, you don't.
He just said,
Okay,
"Oh
great. Here,
God."
let me
Dude.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a
He
question.
just said,
Can you
"Oh
give me the
God."
verse in the Bible? Can you give me the verse in the Bible where Jesus specifically talks about gay people?
A verse about he talks about gay people.
Jesus specifically, yes.
Yo, I don't know if we're gonna get banned, but like, yo, we have to say GAY because they do take it
Yeah,
down. They haven't, but like surprisingly, but they typically do.
Well, I take it back. If I said I meant homosexuals or queer, whatever you want to call it.
It's not a bad word to say. It's just TikTok for some reason like takes us down. It's really weird.
I mean, because it's very offensive to a lot of people.
No, saying GAY is not offensive.
I mean, well, they wouldn't want to take it down.
Can we not run off on a tangent? Can you please tell me the verse in the Bible where Jesus specifically talks about being queer?
Wait, talks about being queer.
Yeah, where Jesus specifically says that it's a problem to be queer.
Well, in the Bible they said it was unclean.
Nope,
and
wrong.
What verse?
He said it was abomination.
What verse? Wait,
You said
baby
it was
flex.
abomination. Jesus. When did Jesus say that he had an issue with queer people?
I want him to run down this real quick. Which verse?
I don't know the exact verse. I couldn't just tell you the exact
Because
verse.
if you want to go to Leviticus 25, 44 through 46 actually condones the usage of slavery and passing down them as inherited property to your children. You can make them slaves for life. So chattel slavery. Exodus 21, 20 through 21 says it's okay to beat your slaves insofar as that they recover after a day or two. Right? Numbers 31, 17.
3 days.
Yeah, Numbers 31:17 says says to kill, right, the of a particular community, right, the men and the women, and to keep the virgin girls for yourselves, right?
Yeah, but see, I'm reading here. It says Leviticus.
Samuel 15:3 says, "Now go attack the Amalekites and totally destroy all that belongs to them. Put to death men and women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys." So he's literally commanding genocide and the slaughtering of infants. So,
Yeah,
is that what you're basing your morality off of?
It said, "Thou shalt not lie."
Hold on.
Jess, thank you for the $6.68.
Before you read that verse, I just want to ask you a question. Before you read that verse, so should we adhere to every single thing that's in the Old Testament?
In the Old Testament?
Yeah, should we adhere to every single thing in the Old Testament? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, great. Gotcha. So you
All
don't
those
eat
things I
pork-
just said that you agree
so
with.
you don't eat pork then,
No,
right?
no. I'm looking at something right now. It said Leviticus
Hold on,
chapter
you don't
18,
eat pork,
verse
right?
14.
You don't eat pork, right?
I do not. Thou shalt not lie with
And you don't
mankind.
wear, that's not what it says actually. But you don't wear mixed fabrics.
So now you're doing
You
blasphemy.
don't wear mixed
I'm trying
fabrics.
to read the verse.
You don't wear mixed fabrics.
Yes.
Oh, you do.
Yes.
Well, you're going to hell then. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Hey, but see, the thing is, we're all sinners. So what are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking
Okay,
about.
so isn't that true for
Put that on-
GAY people as well? So how's a GAY person different from you then?
We're all sinners. They're sinners, and we're sinners. We're all sinners. We all
Okay,
do
so
something
then
that's
why are
wrong.
you saying that this is worse
No
than like
one-
being a
no one
rapist?
is- Because he said it was abomination. It was blasphemy against him.
No, he didn't. He said
Yes,
that
No, he didn't.
man shall
He
not
said,
lay with a boy.
Those should not lie with mankind as with womankind.
Wait,
It is
baby
abomination.
flex. I have a question. What's worse, grape or blasphemy?
Blasphemy. Blasphemy
Boy,
gets
y'all
you
are
sent
something.
straight to hell.
So graping a child is not as bad as blasphemy?
blasphemy will get you sent straight to hell.
Okay, wait, how about this? Someone grapes 10,000 children. Is that not as bad as blasphemy one time?
That's fornication.
That's not fornication. It's not consensual. It's grape. Child grape. Do you think that someone who grapes literally 10,000 children, do you think that's not as bad as one person engaging in blasphemy one time?
That's fornication. That's fornication, man. That's not the same.
Yeah, I'm willing to put money on
saying?
it. Solid money on it that he doesn't know what blasphemy means. What is blasphemy?
Yeah. So baby flex. Okay, would you be okay with? We'll go to 100,000. 100,000 kids get raped. Is that not as bad as one person engaging in blasphemy once?
No, it's not. Because God says if you love him and you have that faith in him, the person that's supposed to be so perfect will be the one to go to hell.
Literally, if I say fuck God, like I did right now,
oh my goodness,
I say fuck Jesus Christ, that is worse than 100,000 children getting raped.
That's also not blasphemy, by the way. Thank you,
was trying to
Shirley,
run
for
on
the
with that.
$20 cash app.
Yes.
That was for a clip. Bro got clipped so hard, bro. That's crazy, dude. You are insane.
That is blasphemy.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Blasphemy means that you're lying on God's name, which you've been doing for quite a bit during this live.
Wow.
Yeah. So like it means to say that God did or did not do something that he actually did or did not do. That's blasphemy.
So let me ask you this: is it worse for a person to rape 100 children, or for them to kill 10 people?
I'm not engaged.
I don't even see what the point of that would be.
Well, no, I'm saying. So which one's worse?
I don't even know how that's analogous.
Which one's worse though?
Probably the grape.
Yeah.
So killing 10 people wouldn't be worse.
No.
Yeah.
So the life of a person is not here anymore. It's not important than people.
No, nobody said that.
Then like 100 people being tortured.
You just said that was worse.
Yeah,
you
you're
just
making
said
an argument that nobody
you
made.
just said, yeah. I would rather 10 people be killed than 100 people be tortured.
Right, exactly that, because they
But
have to live with that
the
the rest
100
of their
still
lives.
here today.
They have to live with that the rest of their lives, though.
So the other people need to just die and just say forget it.
Well, at least they won't.
No, I
remember
think
being
that's bad. I'm just telling you which one I prefer, like, more comparative to the scenario. They're both bad.
Yeah.
Which one is preferred less? That's what we're essentially talking there. Now, do you like? I just think it's wildly absurd for you to say we're gonna increase the number. 1 billion children get raped. Is that worse, or I mean, is that not as bad as one person blaspheming God one time?
Blasphemy is still worse. Because what if, well, you don't even believe in God, so what I say it don't even make sense to you because you don't even believe in God.
Okay, I guarantee the people who believe in God, a lot of them are like, holy shit. But new Reductio unlocked.
Right, your bro is unhinged.
Absolutely.
That is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Like, Babyflex, how can you say that and not rethink that? Now, I'll ask you this. If God commanded you to grape an infant, would you do it?
He wouldn't do that.
He wouldn't do that.
Okay, well, God commanded the genocide of the Amalekites. God commanded people to literally take virgin girls for themselves. So you say God wouldn't do that. Well, do you think God would command genocide?
Yeah, I mean, God commanded that they smash babies upon rocks, my guy.
What verse is that?
What verse is that? I mean, can you find it?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It said dash them across the rocks. Hold on one second. I'll give it to you.
Ask me to read it and say when I do say that.
I still can't believe you said that, Babyflex, bro. Like, that is the craziest reductio I've ever given anyone. Like, that is so fucking insane. Here, actually, I have you this. Babyflex, is that your wife?
So what now?
Is that your wife in the background?
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Is someone graping your wife and your children not as bad as one person engaging in blasphemy once?
The blasphemy is words, dude. See, you looking at, oh, that's his wife, his children. He should take up for him. No, blasphemy is worse. No matter how I feel, it doesn't matter how I feel. At the end of the day,
Do you want to tell that to her face real quick? Have her come up to you and say it to her?
oh, she's right here. She know it. She'll tell you herself.
Well, yeah. What are your thoughts about that?
He said, "What's your thoughts about that? If someone came and rape you and the kids versus someone just blasphemy against God."
Blasphemy is unforgivable. That's what an unforgivable sin.
Yeah. I don't even
That's
know.
an abomination.
I'm gonna ask you the same question. What is blasphemy?
It's an abomination.
Yeah. That's not answering my question. What is blasphemy? How would one engage in blasphemy?
Cursing God.
No, that's not blasphemy.
Yes, it is.
That's not.
That is blasphemy.
No, it's
So
not.
if you were to change the words that Christ spoke, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, that's blasphemy. The first thing was not.
It is. So if you were to curse God or say his name in vain, that is a form of blasphemy. And young man, I really and honestly think that you should do a
Please
little
don't call
bit-
me young man.
I really should think you should do some research and turn your life over to Christ. We're all sinners.
Nah, screw that. And
None
screw
of
him.
us- none of-
If it means
Jim Crow
those
Jesus-
fucking reductios,
Jim Crow
hell
Jesus
no.
can literally
That's
kiss my
perfect.
black ass.
Yeah, okay, you can be that. That's your.
You just justified the craziest shit, right? Your husband just said that he thinks it's worse for one person to engage in blasphemy once than a million children to be raped. Okay? He just said that you and your daughters, right, or your sons getting raped is literally not as bad as one person engaging in blasphemy once. Do you realize how fucking crazy of a statement that is?
I mean, if you compare the two, I would never curse the Lord. No.
Because what does it matter? If
Wait,
it,
I have one question. Would you rather grape an infant or blaspheme God?
I wouldn't do either.
No, but given that you have to do one or the other, which one would you rather do?
I couldn't do it. I can't answer that question. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't let that go.
I can't
Which
believe
one
that
would you
we
rather
had this
do?
Conversation going back and forth, pretty much trying to diminish our faith with an atheist. I can't believe we're even having this conversation.
Yeah, because your views
Well,
actually
I mean,
insane.
here's the first problem that I have with that statement. You want to act as if you are more knowledgeable simply because you believe. However, you don't even read.
I
the
never
book.
said that.
But you don't even read the book. You don't even.
I
Read the book.
do. I do. And you need to do a little bit more reading yourself.
I don't. First of all, like I said, I would venture to say that I'm older than you.
Why are you getting angry?
Secondly, right? I studied theology in college, and
I don't care what you study.
en route
You
to
need
my
study
en route to my
Christianity.
master's degree.
That has nothing to do.
Well, it does. I can
Yeah,
literally
nothing
cite
to
verses
do
from
with-
memory.
Okay, great. I can memorize a lot too.
Sure. So
No, I'm not white for the ones in the comment. No, I'm not.
okay, so Psalms 137:9, happy shall be he that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
So what I'm gathering from you guys are you're picking the negative things that you've interpreted from the Bible and you're trying to use it to diminish our faith.
No, absolutely not.
Why-
I would
why
say
do you
that
take the
I would say that
positive
I personally
Okay, so let
move in the
me ask you something.
No, can I finish first?
You guys
before
see anything
no, you
wrong
keep throwing accusations at me. I want to say
with
something.
the Ten Commandments?
I personally operate more like Jesus than you ever could imagine, than you ever
Wow.
will, and that you
And
ever
you-
could imagine.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. So as a follower of Christ Jesus, right? Then you should quite literally move in the manner that Jesus would move. That is what he commanded of you.
So how are you considering blasphemy over anything else?
What are you talking? Because that's ridiculous.
So how are you more like Jesus if you are even considering blasphemy?
Okay, what did Jesus say? All commandments rest on these two things. What are those two things?
You tell me.
And to love God and and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, and then all of the commandments, what are the commandments? How many are there and what are they?
There are 10.
Wrong. See, that's what I'm saying. You don't even read your own damn book.
Okay.
So how many commands are there then if it's not 10?
Right.
That's crazy, man. It's over 600 commandments.
Yeah. Baby Flex, I have a question. What are the first 4 books of the New Testament?
What we're not going to do is we're not going to let an atheist test our faith.
Oh my God!
You don't know the gospel?
There's 613 commandments, and you don't even know them. So this is the problem.
Sir, I'm
They don't
pretty
even know
sure
what the gospel is.
Memorization. I'm pretty sure you don't remember all 6 of them either.
613.
Yeah. Obviously,
Like
we're
I
not
said,
gonna.
you don't remember every 613.
Baby
Pause.
Flex, I quite literally just asked you what the first 4 books of the New Testament are. I asked you what the gospel is. Okay, and you literally didn't know.
Well, I'm saying I'm not gonna sit there and let you test my faith either.
What are the 2 commandments?
Because you don't even have a faith. You just say that you're Christian so that you
fake
can
religion
impose
like
your
Trump.
will on other people.
Yeah,
so that
sure.
it justifies your bigotry.
We're not perfect. That's what you're getting at.
I mean,
Nobody. I mean, that's clear. That's clear.
Hold on,
You're
hold
not.
on.
perfect.
Let me say something without getting interrupted. You're making it seem like because we're Christians or we follow Jesus that we're supposed to do everything correctly. We're supposed to follow all the rules. We're sinners. That's the point. That's the point of being Christian. That's the reason why Jesus died on the cross. Because
Yeah, you're supposed to follow them. I'm sorry to tell you that your own religious book tells you that.
save us from our sins, and that's why you repent and ask for forgiveness.
In order to repent, you have to turn away from sin.
Thank you, Kayla.
Like you actually have to like act
Exactly.
better. You can't like willfully continue
Literally
to engage in
go and
sin.
sin no more. Go and sin no more.
Right.
So that's why I asked you, as a
and
follower
turn
of Jesus,
from
right?
your
As a follower of
wicked ways.
Jesus, when did Jesus say that he was an issue with queer people?
We just told it to you in Leviticus.
Oh,
that
no,
my husband-
Leviticus. That's not. Jesus wasn't in Leviticus.
Elizabeth, thank you for
Sir.
$6.66. Thank you so much,
We're
Elizabeth.
not going to argue about the Bible whatsoever.
Okay. So is the Old Testament still? So the Old Testament law still apply? Yes. Or is there a new gospel? Is there a new covenant? Like, which one is it?
You're not going to test our faith.
You don't have any to test. You have nothing to test.
You definitely do. You're not.
We're
gonna
testing it right now, and you're not providing anything.
You're not gonna. Like I told you, we're not perfect. We don't know everything.
Yeah, like
You don't know anything.
I'm not gonna
Literally
sit there
know
and-
nothing about your own book. Name the
That's funny.
first book of the Bible.
Matthew,
Wrong.
Mark, Luke, John, the Acts.
Now
the
she can provide the fucking gospel. I said the
They
first
teach
book of
it
the
in
Bible.
school. They teach
The
it in
first
school.
book of the
back then.
Bible is Genesis, ma'am.
Was taught in school.
Bible's
Why
Genesis.
does it matter?
Like, come on, man. This is crazy.
You're still not going to test my faith. How funny!
You
I don't
don't
care how much
have any.
math,
There's
how
nothing
much
to
Christian-
test.
how much biblical stuff you remember, how much English skills that you've accumulated over the years.
Can you
None of
name
that
me 3 of the
matters.
10 commandments?
Do not kill. Do not commit adultery. And you give me one.
No, you have one more to give me.
No, you give me one.
I'll give you one after you give me the 3.
And love thy neighbor.
That's not a 10 commandment.
That's not one of the 10 commandments.
And honor the Sabbath day.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. I'll give you
Okay.
that.
For someone that's
Thou shalt not
atheist,
bear false witness.
I'm just curious. What day is the Sabbath?
Yeah.
it's Saturday. For someone,
Finally, one answered one
yeah,
right.
yeah. For someone to be an atheist, you must have grew up in a Christian household for you to know a lot about Christ.
Absolutely. I read the book. That's why I don't believe it.
Why?
I read
Well,
the book. I
I'm asking
studied it in depth, and that's why I don't
Well-
So
believe
how is he a follower of Jesus? How is he more like Jesus if you don't believe it? That
Yeah.
doesn't make
Oh,
sense.
that don't make sense.
it. No, it makes perfect
No, because
sense.
his
So listen-
actions are more in accordance with it than yours are.
correct.
Bro,
Absolutely
Mr.
not.
Jones
Makes perfect
literally goes on live and fundraises for people all the time. right? All the time. He
saying
quite
that
literally.
doesn't matter.
People
Listen,
that
listen.
don't
That
even
does
agree
not
with me,
matter.
people that don't even like me.
You're
Like I literally go
doing
out and buy groceries
you're
for Trump
you're
for you know what I'm
doing
saying, for
and
Trumpers.
your
Like I don't give a shit.
actions for other people have no hold on if you're gonna make it to heaven or not.
I don't care. I don't care about
I
going to
get
heaven.
that you
If it's
don't
gonna be full of a
understand.
bunch of bigots like you, I don't want to be there.
I never said that I was perfect. I've only said that I was human, and I'm just saying what I believe
Well,
my
being
morals
you
of
don't
what's
just
right
be
and wrong.
human. To be human is the air, and that's fine.
I don't think she
But
knows
to
what
be a
bigot
bigot is
means.
something totally different. To be a bigot is a
I
choice.
right,
And
right,
and
right.
both you and your husband choose to be bigots. You choose to call, you know what I'm saying, other marginalized people, you know what I'm saying, gross and disgusting and abomination. And even when Jesus never spoke on these people at all. Jesus never had anything ill to say about anybody that was queer.
So back what my husband was talking to you about initially about the homosexuality, and you agreed that there was nothing wrong with it. That you agreed that a man should pretty much walk into a bathroom with little girls.
What? When did we argue this? That has nothing to do with being GAY. What is being GAY? Can you tell me what it means to be GAY?
It means to engage intercourse with the same sex.
And what does that have to do with children?
If a man chooses to identify as a woman,
Gender identity and sexuality are two separate things. Genius.
okay, but
Think of this in peace.
but more than likely, me and you both know that they're what GAY. You want to say?
No,
No,
not more than likely. Like
no.
you're just making
Trans
up
people are both straight and GAY.
Yeah, there's only two genders. I'm sorry.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. One,
How many
two.
is it?
You
So,
understand
hold
that
on.
different cultures have different perceptions of gender. They have different determinations. And also,
I'm about to
wait,
blow both of these arguments.
can I ask them one more thing real quick? Why do you accept the gender identity and pronouns of your God, but not trans people?
Sir, there is only two options when you come out the womb.
No,
You
but I'm
either
asking you.
have
Yeah,
a-
prior
you
to
either have a
incarnation,
vagina,
God the Father, He's a father,
have
He's a
a-
man, He, Him. Why do you
Whether
respect and His identity and pronouns, but not trans people?
Whether you cut your penis off or you decide to add one,
You're not
or
answering my question.
or dress in clothes to be something that you're not, is called pretending.
Can you answer my question?
Like you,
Well,
something
God is pretending then. God's pretending because He has no biology.
that is blasphemy.
How is it blasphemy to say He has no biology prior to incarnation?
That is complete blasphemy.
No, it's not. Where in the Bible does it say that God has a penis?
Oh my goodness.
Dude, you're sick.
Tell me the verse. What's the verse?
You're sick.
What's
You're
the verse?
sick. You're sick.
What's the verse? God the Father has a
Like I
penis.
told
What's
you,
the
like I
verse?
told you, we're not perfect. We can't name.
There
just
isn't a verse that says
verses
that. There isn't a verse
off
that
the
says
top
that.
of our head.
I promise you, there's not a verse that says that.
That is completely fine. Like I said,
Yeah, no. So no verse indicates that. You have no evidence to indicate that he has biology, right? If you don't have any evidence to indicate he has biology, right? How are you saying that gender is based on biology, but then God has no biology yet he still has a gender?
what is the evidence that there's more than two genders?
I'm gonna give you.
It would be that one, it's a social construct. It would be
They just
historically
added it
speaking.
for
I'll
the
let
last
Mr. Jones
2
go
years.
over this because we're gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to ask a really like three really quick questions, and I'm gonna go into that. But does God make mistakes?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did God make animals?
He did.
Animals are gay. Was that a mistake?
Animals are gay.
Yes.
Yeah, plenty of them are.
Name one. Name one species.
Bonobos.
The bonobos.
Bonobos. Rams. Right? That's two. I can mention way
Lions,
more.
Dogs, penguins,
Hamsters.
Keep going.
Penguins.
So, two animals of the same sex, or
Yeah, penguins will actually like form relationships, GAY relationships, and they'll
For
adopt
life.
members of their own species and take care of them in these familial GAY relationships.
Yeah, dolphins.
Oh my goodness!
Did he make a mistake or not?
No, he didn't make a mistake.
Okay, so then it probably is okay to be queer then. Yes.
Probably not.
What? Hold on. What? So
No.
you're saying those animals are going to hell?
Wait, I have a question. Do animals have free will?
If you were to read the Bible, it says all animals will make it into heaven.
No, do animals have free will? And no, it doesn't.
An animal, yes,
Yeah, it
yes,
doesn't
it
say
does.
that
Yes,
at
it
all.
does.
That's crazy.
And,
No, it
and,
doesn't.
and animals don't have a conscience.
So if animals don't have free will, who controls their behavior?
You're never gonna question. You're never gonna have to get me to question.
Wait, if animals don't control their behavior, who does?
You're never gonna get me to question my.
If God controls animals' behavior and animals engage in GAY sex, is God causing the GAY sex between animals?
That is insane. For you to be a
Yeah, well, that's actually called a reductio ad absurdum.
Yeah.
for you to be a straight
Okay,
man,
so-
for you to.
So
and-
we
and
moved
for you-
past that. We moved
Yeah,
past that.
yeah,
You might as well
yeah,
just
yeah.
concede.
Wait, Mr.
Yeah.
Jones, I want to hear her responses real quick.
For you to
Okay.
be a straight man and for you to completely be in agreement with homosexuality and for you to take up for them over and over and over again and throw up different scenarios on how you assume that it's right, that just tells me a lot about yourself. And the one that claims that
Yeah, that I care about people and I have empathy.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
no, that has
W allyship?
that's a form of depopulation and genocide.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're not answering my question, though. Who controls animals' behavior? If animals don't have free will and they don't control it themselves, who does?
I'm not in a monkey's brain. I'm sorry.
No, okay, so but again, if it's not free will, that means it's determined by God. And if it's determined by God, God determines them to engage in GAY sex. So then how is it bad? Because then God can't cause anything evil, so. So then you just say animals engaging in GAY sex is good.
Okay, so I got a theory for you. So if sex is for reproduction, right?
Not always.
Yeah, that's not its major function.
Hold on, I wasn't finished talking. So if sex is if the main purpose of sexual intercourse
main purpose.
is for, like I said, is for reproduction.
But that's not its main purpose.
What is it then besides, sexual gratification?
Well, I would say socialization, because if it was its main purpose, then you would be pregnant every single time you had relations. But the likelihood of you getting pregnant from having intercourse is like less than 5%. So it's not its main function, because if it was main function, then that's what would happen.
I can tell you most times I've done it. Promise you it's not led to reproduction.
Oh, I see. You guys believe more of science than you do actual.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I believe in facts, not fairy tales.
Well, that's your belief. You're gonna have to answer to it.
Yeah, you believe in fairy tales if you want. Go for it.
You grew up in a Christian household. You
Both of us
decided
did.
to do the opposite. You decided to do what's wrong because
I decided not to accept the religion that was imposed upon me by my oppressors. That's what I decided to do. I decided not to believe in Jim Crow Jesus. But if we were going to, Jesus was a Jewish man, and he taught the Jewish faith.
You know
They
why
called
he
him
was
rabbi.
Jewish?
Please don't interrupt me.
You-
They
you
called
know-
him
you-
rabbi.
you know what
They
Jewish
called
people
him
believe?
rabbi. They called him king of the
Right.
Jews.
Right.
He got
Right.
circumcised according to Jewish faith. He did his pilgrimage in Jerusalem. He was a Jewish man. He lived a Jewish life. He died a
Wait,
Jewish
why
man.
did he have to get circumcised? Why wouldn't God just make him already circumcised? That's so crazy.
Yeah,
Jewish
so great.
people believe that Christ has not came yet. So
I don't.
Jesus
That's not the point. So Jesus wasn't
That
Jewish?
is the point that I'm making. If you let me explain it, instead of getting upset that I'm talking about Christianity and trying to explain it to you because you're so hurt, what
What are you talking about?
What happened to you, or what did you disagree with in
Audrey, thank you for the $6
Bible that
66
made
cents.
you
I gave you multiple. I gave you multiple.
Slavery.
The justification of slavery, the beating of slaves, the taking of virgin girls for yourselves, the genocide of the Amalekites. I can keep going.
That was back in Solomon and Gomorrah. When
No,
men
none of
were
that has to
sleeping-
do with Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes, it does. When men
None of that has to do with Sodom and Gomorrah.
and women was sleeping with women.
Do you think it's okay for God to cause children to be suffocated to death by water?
I never read that. I'm completely ignorant.
Do you believe in the flood?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so when God killed everyone on the planet, that includes children. So God quite literally
You know why?
tortured children to death
No,
by
no, no, that's
suffocating
not
them with
true.
water.
That's not true. He said not a one of them were good, and that was back in Solomon and Gomorrah.
Yeah, but we're
There's
talking about
not.
infants. So God suffocated and tortured children to death.
Where did it say that at?
Well, when he flooded the whole earth.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No.
Anyways, Jesus would have believed in 6,
Hold
if
on,
not
hold on,
8
hold on,
genders.
hold on. I got a theory for you.
Oh
If
man.
if you think that the Lord is so bad and that he if you truly believe that he suffocated children and caused animals to die during the flood, why did Noah create the ark?
You said why did Noah create the ark?
Why did Noah create the ark?
Why
And why
did he?
did the
Well,
Lord
because
have
you would
him
say
put
God gave him
nope,
revelation.
nope, nope. Why did he instruct Noah to put 2 of every animal
That's
of every
incoherent.
species on the
That's so
boat?
incoherent.
Nope, nope. But that's what it says though.
You
He put
you believe that
a
shit. That like
male.
you actually believe literal fairy tales. It's insane.
He put a male animal. If it's fairy tales, why in the book of Revelation everything that's occurring now that he said that would occur is
They
happening?
said that during they said that in
Here,
England
I got a prophecy
during
for
the
him.
18th century. Like
Here, you know what?
they've said
I'm
this multiple
God.
times.
I'm
They
God
said
in
it
the
in
way
Rome.
that I'll prove I'm God is that I'll say that that war is going to happen in the future. Devastation will happen in the future. You know, I'm God. Praise be Jesus. Praise be Jesus.
You know how many times there's been famine? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how many times there's been war? You know how many times people have said that the Antichrist was here? Like, this has happened repetitively over the course of human
Nowhere
history.
near how it is now.
Nowhere
No,
near.
no, 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 no.
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near.
It's the same. It's been worse. It's been worse.
That's what I'm saying.
It's actually been worse. I don't know
It's
what
been
they're
way
talking
worse.
about.
You're talking about
Just
the
don't
you're
cut me
talking about
off.
the transatlantic slave trade wasn't worse. You're telling me the Holocaust wasn't worse. You're telling me them unaliving so many indigenous people in the Americas that it changed the temperature, the core temperature of the earth wasn't worse. You sound ridiculous.
I'm not talking about global climate change, nor am I talking about
That's
wars
not what
that
Jesus.
that has previously happened. No, I'm not talking about wars that has previously happened, and no, I'm not talking about
Lindsay, thank you for the
climate change.
$6.66.
What I'm talking
Thank you,
about
Lindsay.
is if you were to go read the book of Revelation, not comparing it, or if you do decide to compare it to the mass events that have occurred previously, what's going on now?
I can compare it to multiple instances in
Let
human
me
history,
finish.
multiple periods in human history.
Let me finish. If you were to compare it, the book of Revelation, to the events that are going on now, if you compare it little by little, one by one of what's going on, maybe you would have a little bit of eye opening. Instead of getting so angry and defensive on what I'm saying, maybe, just maybe, you should go consider what I'm saying and read it. And maybe once
We have. You
look at
didn't even know what the
Revelation,
first book of the Bible was. What do you mean? We need to go read it. Maybe
like I
you need
said,
to go
I'm
read
not
it, girl.
perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not. I can ask you what you look like the type that's a science, math genius in school. I can ask you something that I'm pretty sure you don't know.
Go for it. Ask me.
That was a scenario. I'm not going to ask you that.
Ask me any question.
I'm not going
Yeah,
to ask
same.
you that.
Same.
No,
She
no,
can't
no.
even come up with a question that I might not know. Like,
You
Yeah, so
know why?
the book
You
of
know
thank you,
why?
Jaden. The book
Because
of
that's not the
Revelations
point that I was
predicted the
making.
fall of Jerusalem, which already happened. It happened in AD 70. That's what it was written about. That's what it was for. Any biblical scholar would already know this. But again, if we were going to take Revelations, we don't even know who the author of Revelations was. But if we were going to take Revelations and compare it to other instances in human history, it's happened over and over and over and over and over and over again.
You know what? Your problem is you don't want to believe. You
My
don't want to
problem
yeah,
believe.
I don't want to
actually,
believe in
I
a God
actually have
that
studied
commands
this.
genocide or commands slavery
Okay,
and
but you're
condones that
gonna
shit.
vote a president that commands genocide because they're pushing it onto children. Their agenda of homosexuality.
You think
Not
that
Do you know
put
what do
saying,
you know what
not
G-side means?
saying
she
that
doesn't
I'm
even know
You
what
know
it
what a
means.
I
G-side
never
means?
said that.
Do you know what a G-side means?
A what?
Do you know what a G-side is?
I don't know. Elaborate.
Okay,
What, you
so
just used the term.
Yeah, because you just
Oh,
said
you're
that.
saying genocide. I didn't know that GSOD was the abbreviation for genocide. Smart
Yes.
one.
What?
So yeah, I completely understand what a genocide is. A genocide
Okay.
is to destroy one own's kind. I completely
No.
understand that. So if
No.
someone is forcing an agenda that has
Nobody's
no,
forcing any agenda.
listen to what I'm saying instead of getting angry.
I'm not angry. Stop saying that. Like these white supremacist
Well,
microaggressions are weird coming from black people.
well, you're being big.
You're gonna say I'm being aggressive? Is that what you're gonna
strange.
say next?
That's strange. No. That's funny that you haven't told me that yet as a black woman.
Why would I?
Because
I'm
it's
not a white supremacist.
it's a stereotypical comment that's used.
You're
Anyway,
the only person that said anything like this.
I never mentioned anything about race. What are you talking about?
You're the one who
You-
keeps
you're-
saying
you're-
that I'm angry over and
you're
over
the
again.
one
It's
that
weird
keeps
to
mentioning
it's
that
weird
you're
to use
black. I don't
it's weird
care.
to use white
If you-
supremacist rhetoric over and over again talking to other black people. That is weird.
What are you talking about?
So
Nobody grew
a
race.
G-side is the
supremacy.
deliberate and systematic destruction
Slavery.
of a racial, political, or cultural group. And so when you're saying queer people,
You won't
if
let me
anything,
put a word
if
in.
anything,
You
if
will not let
anything,
me
the
finish
G-side is
what I'm saying.
happening to queer people and not vice versa.
You will not let me complete a damn sentence. You will not
Because
let
you
me-
keep gaslighting me.
No. Let me finish and maybe you won't feel
We'll
so
be
lit up.
completely quiet, but I don't think there's gonna be anything like brought to the table differently. But go for it.
I completely understand what a genocide is. However, if you're voting for someone, what you tried to persuade my husband to say that or try to get out of him or whatever, voting for someone that's basically forcing genocide, which is destroying one own's kind.
Wait, no. Again, so how is Joe Biden forcing being GAY on children, and how is that a genocide?
If you didn't cut me off, I would have told you.
Oh my, go for it.
Yeah. So it's being brought up in the schools. That's one. It's in all of the they're remaking cartoons, condoning it, and showing it and letting kids watch it.
There's also cartoons that have representation of black people as well.
I get it, the stereotypical black people. I get it.
So we can argue against stereotypes, but that same thing would be applicable to GAY people.
That has we're not all the same. Just like all whites aren't the same, all Asian people aren't the same. That's like me saying all Asian people eat dogs. That is not true.
What? When did I make a statement like that?
I'm saying that in reference to what you're saying as a scenario, that is not true.
Huh? What's not true?
I'm trying to break down in the most simplest form that I can possibly think of for you to understand what I'm saying without being combative.
Thank you, Audrey, for the $6.60.
What did I do? Wait, so also this is a debate platform. Of course I'm going to debate you.
Okay, yeah. That's fine, but let me finish at the same time. This president is allowing men to go into the women's restroom, sexually assaulting little girls.
That's not happening. Stop saying that.
That literally happened to me and my wife in Seattle, Washington.
No, it didn't.
It literally happened.
You got assaulted. You got assaulted in the bathroom. Maybe you should learn how to fight then. I don't know what to tell you. But that never happened.
We got
Just said it happened to me and my wife.
We said that it happened.
Trans people have been using the same bathroom as you your whole life. You don't make any sense.
Are you when?
And
Your whole life.
And do you think trans men should go into the women's restroom?
Absolutely not. And I don't think a woman should go into a
Wait,
man's
but trans men are biologically female.
That is insane that you believe that and you think so highly of science.
Trans men are biologically
Okay, so-
female.
so
Under your
yes.
view, they would go into
So
the
let me
women's
ask you this.
restroom, and yet they present masculine.
Or hold on. So let me
Brandy,
just
thank you for
say
the
this.
$10. Thank you so much.
So a biological female is a woman that is born with vagina, that has ovaries, a uterus that does not have to be taken out of a biological woman and being trans.
I have a question. Should this person go into the women's restroom?
That's what a woman is, isn't it?
You think this man should go into the women's restroom?
He got someone on the camera.
Who the hell?
Oh, if it was born with,
Genesis for the $7 event.
yeah. So if it was born,
It.
yeah, whatever it identifies it, I don't know. I mean, he
Do
made
you
or
think that
she
he
identifies a
should
police
go into
officer.
the women's restroom?
If he was born with a penis, no.
Okay, so he should go into the women's restroom, presenting this way.
If he was born with a penis,
Born female.
absolutely not. Not with my daughter.
They were born female. So should he go into the women's restroom?
Well, if she was,
He.
hey,
It's not a he. I'm sorry.
that's not a man.
He isn't a he.
He will never
Where's the
be
cat?
a
Thank
man,
you.
no matter how
Okay,
hard.
okay, why not?
She tried, whatever it is.
So
Why not? Why not?
Paul,
Because they weren't born without. Okay, so
Paul,
was God
let me ask you this, Parker.
how was God the Father born?
No, let me ask you, Parker. So if you cut your,
No, I want you
your-
to answer
your
that
people
question
off-
first. I want you to answer my question first.
Go ahead.
And then I'll answer your question.
All right.
How was God the Father born?
He is the creator.
So he wasn't born. He doesn't have any biology. Yet
He's
you
in
still consider
spirit.
him a man.
God is spiritual.
Yet you still consider him a man. There's no biology. Yet you still
God
consider him a man.
is spiritual.
So why is his gender identity and pronouns genuine and justified, but not this trans person?
Back to what I was saying.
Complete
If you
pivot.
were-
No, I want you to
No,
answer my
no,
question.
This is not a pivot. No. You
You
cut
are
me off
pivoting.
and you showed. Nope.
I won't cut you off one more time if you answer this question.
No. Let me finish what I was saying initially.
No, you just cut me. No, I'm not. No, I'm gonna finish this point because I tried to bring this up earlier and you did the same thing, right
Go ahead.
immediately when you couldn't justify.
Go ahead.
Why is God's gender identity and pronouns justified and genuine, but not this trans person?
God is spiritual.
Jaden, thank you for the $2. Not an answer to my question.
No, that is an answer. God
No,
is
it's not.
spiritual.
We all are spiritual under your view. We all have souls.
Spiritual beings. Yes.
Yeah,
but
we're
we
all
are
spiritual
human
beings under your
form
view.
right now.
Yeah. So again, what makes something? What can you define a man for me, please?
A man.
Define the term man.
A man is a male that was born with testes.
So that's not God the Father.
That was
God the
born-
Father's not a man then.
that
So
was born with
so I'll call
testes.
God the Mother. Can I call God the Mother?
Blasphemy.
She created everyone. You said that's blasphemy.
That is very blasphemy.
Okay, so why is it wrong for me to disrespect the pronouns of your God, but it's not wrong for you to disrespect the pronouns of trans people?
Because it goes against my Christianity beliefs, whether you like it or not.
So it's just because you feel like it. So again, when you define the term man, that was not applicable to your God. So that's not your definition of the
See
term
how you're
man.
trying to force this on everybody?
I'm not forcing on anyone. I'm showing how your view's incoherent.
No,
You
no,
are
no.
forcing. Wait. So if I'm forcing this on you,
and you're
wait.
wanting
Be
to
quiet, please.
conform.
Be quiet, please.
Go
If I'm
ahead. Make
if
your
I'm
point.
forcing this on you, well then you're also forcing your religion on me. So why is it okay for you to force religion on children?
I
Right?
never I never force religion on you.
You're on my live right now preaching it.
That's my beliefs. You're
Okay, well I'm on my own live preaching my own beliefs, and you said I'm forcing it upon people. So how am I forcing it upon people, but you aren't?
We're having an open discussion.
So how am I forcing and you're not?
How are you forcing it on two other people?
And I'm not. Appreciate the hand art thing, and you're not. I mean, thank you for the hand art.
Okay. Well,
So here, I just want to read.
No answers to any questions.
I want to read Matthew 19:12. I think this is important because you want to talk about your Bible, and your Bible says this, that, and the third.
yeah.
And it's clear that you don't read it, so we're going to read Matthew 19:12. For there are
ahead.
eunuchs who have been so from birth. There are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let the one who is able to receive this receive it. He said that they all should be accepted.
Okay. But
Jesus said that.
I'm sure that Jesus would never contradict himself.
Correct. There you go. He didn't.
So yeah, so back to what it said back in Leviticus.
Hold
A
on,
man
hold
shall
on.
not-
So is there a new
shall not
covenant?
lay
Because you
with a
wouldn't answer
man,
this
and a woman
earlier.
shall
You
not
wouldn't
lay
answer
with
this
a woman.
earlier. So is there a new covenant or nah?
Is what do you mean? Is there a new covenant? Why would
So
what are you
should we
talking
take what
about?
Jesus says, or should we take what the Old Testament says?
What are you talking about?
Is the Old Testament still the law, or is there a new covenant?
The word of God doesn't change. So whoever changed it or wrote it, that's something that they're
So
going to
you
have
don't
to
eat pork, you don't wear mixed fabrics.
I never said that I was perfect.
Oh, okay, got you. So then if the laws don't apply to you, why do they apply to gay people or queer people? Excuse me.
Back to what we were trying to
Answer
tell
the
you.
question. If it
I
doesn't apply to you, then why does it apply to queer people?
back to what I was
See,
saying.
that's what I'm saying. Y'all are so disingenuous.
Yeah, they can't answer a simple question. They
no.
immediately pivot.
Just to be a bigot.
You never let me finish. You never let me finish. So back to what I was saying.
Neither does Jasmine.
I'm not perfect. I am a sinner. That's the reason why he died on the cross.
Oh, so if he died on the cross
get-
and there's a new covenant, then it doesn't
us
matter
to
what people
get
do doing then,
saved.
yes or not?
So if he never died on the cross for us, I mean, like what are you talking about?
Yo, to be honest with you, this debate's been over. Like, I done cooked y'all 6 ways from Sunday. Literally.
No, you have not.
There's no cooking to it.
You're cooking.
Okay, so give us the argument. We'll be quiet. We'll listen to everything.
I bake pretzels for a living.
Okay, great.
They call us Wetzel's Pretzels for a reason. Yeah, thank you for the hand art. Thank you.
Yeah. I never said that I was perfect. I never said that I ate the way that I should, or I dressed the way that I am, or that the Bible has wanted me to. The point that I'm making is that we're all sinners, and that the point is to turn from your wicked ways, and that's the reason why he gave
Is the
us the
school
option to
pushing
repent.
pork on children? Is the school pushing mixed fabrics on children?
They
Is-
serve sausages in the morning, don't they? They serve bacon on their
Are you-
burgers
so are you
in
You're
schools.
protesting that, right? You're protesting that, right?
Protesting what? Are you
Them serving the
insane?
kids pork.
I never protest. You asked me a question and I answered it.
Yeah, you're protesting it, right? Since you're so mad about queer being pushed on children,
I'm
are you
not mad
protesting
about it.
them?
I'm just
Are
saying
you
that I don't
protesting
agree
them
with it.
serving pork at the school?
I mean, that's not right.
Do your kids have to wear uniforms at school?
I will still teach my children right from wrong.
Do you teach them not to eat swine?
We're not perfect, like I said.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're not teaching them right from wrong. This is crazy.
We're not. No, that's not what I said either. You're putting words in my mouth. You're being very combative. You're angry.
There we go with the microaggressions again. My children don't eat swine. It's weird that yours do.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Maybe you should say a quick little prayer before you go to bed tonight.
Nah, I'll pass. Y'all are just bigots.
Nope.
I'm not saying that you have to pray every night. I'm just saying that you probably should do it tonight.
Again, I'm not praying to your Jim Crow Jesus. I'm not praying to my oppressor's God. You know that they say that screaming in the
That's
name or
blasphemy.
pleading in the name or praying in the name of a foreigner's God is the purest expression of grief.
Who said that?
I did.
Oh no. You said they said, or did I know? But like, is that something that you
By
wrote
they, I
down
meant me.
or that you learned from somewhere?
Yeah, they can be in reference to an individual, right?
You have there.
I mean, there's no swaying you guys to.
No, you just give us your
You're not
argument.
Convince me to be a bigot.
Yeah,
no
but
thank
yeah, never. We're never gonna be bigots. Yeah. So
No,
what's
the
your
name
argument?
calling is absurd.
What's your argument?
The name calling is absurd.
What,
You can
us
call
calling
me
you a bigot?
It doesn't matter.
You objectively speaking are a bigot. Okay.
Okay, if that's what you want to believe, but I'm not going to have an atheist test my faith.
Well, you already
You know, a
did.
woman
Now, do
should
you want to
not
give
go
me
in
an
a man's
argument?
bathroom, and a man should not go in a woman's bathroom.
Wait, and also you're against name calling, but
Homosexuality is
Trump
so
literally
wrong.
name calls everyone.
I'm sorry.
Trump literally name calls everyone he debates against, and you're okay with that?
You hate an honest person, don't you?
You think he's honest? You're delusional. He's been lying about the election for the past few years with no sufficient evidence. He lied about the sexual abuse, the fraud, right? He lied about the business records. He literally falsified business records, right? All of these things are lies. He cheated on his wives, multiple.
But you guys had no problem with the Monica Lewinsky scheme.
I definitely disagree with that in terms of him cheating on his wife.
And he's not running for president. So I promise you,
And also, it was
Yeah, but he
consensual.
was previously elected. That's the point that I'm making. So
Okay,
instead of being so combative, maybe
I don't even think that I was old enough to vote when Bill
actual
Clinton ran
debate.
for office, to be honest with you. And I'm in my 40s. So how long ago was that?
I'm not saying that Trump is a perfect person. I'm not saying that Biden is a perfect person. All I'm saying is what's best for America and what's best for our children, what's best for
The rapist is a rapist.
Yeah. Back to what I was saying. What's best for inflation? What's best for the borders?
Caused the inflation. So that just shows you how much you don't know. He caused it.
Who caused it? How?
Donald Jimothy Trump caused the inflation.
How, when gas was the lowest that it has been?
Yeah, gas was low thanks to Obama.
was the
So you can
lowest that
send
it has
Obama.
been.
Yeah,
a
gas
thank you
prices were
card
lower
this
under
Christmas.
Obama.
As low as it has been.
Plus, it is the case under Trump's administration. There was more money added to the debt, 8.4 trillion, along with the fact that M2 money supply increased more under Trump's administration comparative to Biden.
Look, I'm so happy that you're bringing up the debt. That is so funny how this president is giving millions upon millions of dollars, let me change that pretense.
Trump added 8.4
has
trillion.
given millions upon millions of dollars to Ukraine.
Oh my God, they always bring up Ukraine.
I know.
How much
it's
money?
It's like y'all are a bunch of parents.
What
man.
percent
I
of
guess
the
that's
what
this is
percent of
why
the
you
federal
believe
budget is that?
in fairy tales?
Yeah, we spent more on Space Force than we gave in cash to Ukraine.
Well, yeah. Finish upon
Trump added
debt
Space Force.
inflation. You asked
Wait, what do you mean?
me-
Let me finish. You already finished. And I was
No,
responding.
you asked me how did inflation go up. I'm trying to explain it to you, so let me do so without you cutting me off.
Yeah, name the policy.
There's no policy I'm naming, but what I can tell you is what I know. Gave millions upon millions of dollars to Ukraine, allowed open borders, allowing let me go ahead and clear this up. I have no problem with people coming to America or wanting a better life.
More bigotry. What did
However-
Jesus say about opening up the borders?
Let me finish. Like I said,
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to
no
that. Don't worry.
problem with people coming into America or wanting a better life. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But having undocumented people, criminals, whoever decides to, whoever's some terrorist, activists overseas coming in through the Mexico borders, having open borders, that shouldn't be a thing. Giving them thousands of dollars a month, giving them a phone, giving them free housing, when there's millions of Americans suffering. I don't agree with that. There's no homes left for us. There is no jobs left for us. There's nothing. So I personally agree that Americans should have been taken care of before immigrants flooding the country. And the reason why that was done was to get votes.
So I just want to let you know the reason why we keep cutting you off is because quite literally everything you just said was wrong.
How so?
Every single thing.
Name what I said was wrong.
There's no open border policy, right? We don't have an open border. That's a complete bullshit claim.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, so that's one thing. So
how
do
are
you want to
they
address
coming-
that?
How are they coming over here?
People
Freely.
come through the asylum process.
No, they're coming
That's a
over here
legal process.
documented.
That's a legal process. The
So they're
asylum
coming over
process is
here
legal.
documented. That's not true.
What does undocumented
Yes, it is.
mean?
The asylum
What does
process is legal. I'll show you the federal code.
Yeah, what does undocumented mean?
It means they're not documented.
What does that
So-
mean? What does that mean?
They have no papers.
Nope, that's not what that means. What kind of papers are you talking about?
Like I said before,
citizenship.
they're not U.S. citizens.
What difference does that make?
We can't freely go over there if we wanted to.
We absolutely do. We absolutely cross the border freely every day.
You have to have a passport.
You don't need a
You're
passport for us to
documented
travel. No,
American
you do
citizen.
not. You don't need a passport to travel from the United States into Mexico.
Yeah, unless you have a military ID.
You need a military ID.
Dude, you're absurd. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Have you ever been to Mexico?
I have.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I
You just
have.
flat out sit here and
I've
lie in
been
my
all
face.
over, I've been all over the world, buddy.
All you need is a driver's license, quite literally, to cross over from California into Mexico or any of the other border states. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, that's documentation in it.